Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to News 6 at 3 o'clock. You are welcoming us or joining us inside the News 6 newsroom for the only live local newscast at this hour. Today, this show is built for a day like today. We have a lot of breaking news going on. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Mike Valenti. Our team of meteorologists has designated today as a weather alert day because we got a number of storms coming the way.
So without further ado, we want to get right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, who is watching everything that's happening. And what an active day we've seen so far, Jonathan.
Yeah, over the last 90 minutes or so, we watched the flare-up of these thunderstorms push through parts of the Orlando metro area into Seminole County, Lake County, Volusia County. And here's where things stand right now. We're watching the area out ahead of the main event. That's what we've gotten over the past 90 minutes. And now that main line of thunderstorms is just coming into parts of Marion County and into northwest Flagler County. So we're going to put a pause on the loop here, and we're going to do some radar tracking. The good news is the severe thunderstorm warning that was in play for Flagler County was allowed to expire at 3 o'clock. Still a nasty thunderstorm, though, for us around Beverly Beach, Flagler Beach, where you see the darker purples there, and around DuPont, just on the south side of Bunnell. That's where we still could have some small hail. So I would not be surprised if we do have another reissuance of a severe thunderstorm warning momentarily. And there's not much longer to go until this gets offshore. But again, Beverly Beach, Flagler Beach, it is raining heavily now, but we will see things pick up even further. Watching some more development back towards us in Cody's Corner. This is going to continue to slide from the southwest into the north and east. Anywhere you see these kind of yellow, light yellow shaded boxes or polygons, that's a special weather statement, meaning we are just below those severe levels. So 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be common. We're clear in Edgewater now. The worst part of that cell has moved away from us. Now we're going to go back to Marion County. This is where we see the opportunity again for the strongest stuff coming in. I'm going to switch my radars. I'm working out of the Melbourne radar. We're going to head to our closer radar in Jacksonville. And this is the stuff that we're watching through come Micanopy, McIntosh, into Reddick right now. So that is where we had that severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30 this afternoon, and that's going to be from this cell here. Wind gusts in excess of 55 to 60 miles per hour. Maybe some small hail embedded in there, but the most thing that I'd be concerned with are some isolated damaging wind gusts. Nothing for us yet, at least severe in Ocala and Bellevue, but I am watching this cluster of thunderstorms for you, working their way out of Denellen to see if that beefs up a little bit. We've had the opportunity to heat things up a little bit further south and east of that line. Then the next opportunity where you see that green, but I'll change my radar one more time. We'll go to the Tampa radar to show you what is actually incoming here. And all that red and purple that you see there, those are the stronger thunderstorms that are working their way out of the Gulf now and will be here over the next couple of hours. Tornado watch is in play. Part of Central Florida under that tornado watch until 8 o'clock for Sumter, Marion, and Flagler County. I have my eyes on these guys. If you hear any of those bells and whistles going off in the newsroom, that means we've had another warning issued, and we'll be talking more. I'll be watching this closely over the next several minutes, guys.
All right, Jonathan. And of course, Jonathan just mentioned that you will be hearing a lot of bells and whistles throughout this newscast as soon as we hear one of those, because we are not sure which it is. Is it a warning? Is it a watch? And it depends on which one it is. We're going to go right back to meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, and he's going to bring us the very latest.
Yeah, Jonathan, thank you. This is obviously important information. We're going to get to you when warranted. And the weather is not helping an already stressful situation at the airport at MCO. By now, you've probably seen those long lines at airports across the country.
How can you avoid seeing it's all over social media, right? And no surprise, AAA has designated Orlando as the top domestic destination, of course, for spring break once again. But has the weather impacted things at Orlando International Airport? We sent your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Menhalal, to find out if the weather is impacting anything out there so far, or if those TSA lines are troublesome. Jana.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and step out of the way to show you a true definition of Florida weather. Jonathan was just going on and on about the thunderstorms, and we saw it here just about 20 minutes ago. It was pitch black, dark, very scary skies. And now it looks bright and sunny. But again, we never know when that's going to change. Right now, what we're seeing on that tarmac is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 airplanes stuck right now. just about 20 minutes ago, MCO was on a ground stop due to thunderstorms, but we haven't seen that change. We have seen it actually lift out of the way since being here, waiting to tell you guys all about this. We were downstairs not too long ago at the big board, as we call it, checking that flight status, and I have never seen the board so red, you guys. Cancellation after cancellations, which have been turning into more cancellations. And we actually spoke to one gentleman and one family who said that they have had to rebook their one flight 3 different times.
We were scheduled on Frontier this morning to fly out today at 2. We went through 3 delays and then it was finally canceled. And so I was able to book a flight with United. They delayed us once and then canceled. I was able to book on Southwest through Birmingham. We're trying to get to Denver.
Okay.
So far, it's still showing on time. That goes out 10 tonight with a 7-hour layover in Birmingham. We're supposed to get in tomorrow in Denver at like 7:30.
Yeah, so like he said, that flight goes out at 10 o'clock tonight. But as Jonathan said, we're seeing hits every so often with these thunderstorms coming through. So I'm hoping that they make it onto that flight. But I've been checking the flightaware.com, that website that shows up-to-date information. As of right now, the total cancellations here at the Orlando International Airport, 346. I'm going to say that number again because it's really big. Cancellations, 346. And total delays, as of right now, 439. Those have been climbing all day long since we've been over here. But like I said, Ginger, the weather is definitely affecting things here at the airport. Guys?
Well, Jana Manahol, thank you so much. And I hope they can get out, too. I hope everyone there can get out, because credit to them for staying composed in that interview.
My goodness. Yeah, that board gives you a new meaning to seeing red, because it was a bloodbath on that board. And, it's, you know, the last thing you want to do is also see those planes just lined up like that. All right, we understand that we're getting more bells and whistles, so we want to check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas to figure out what's going on out there. Jonathan.
Hey, guys. Yeah, Sumter County, I'm watching this line of thunderstorms. I was just showing you this moments ago. They were watching and talking about how strong it was coming out of the Gulf. So the National Weather Service went ahead and issued that warning for us. You see the yellow shaded areas. This is going to be for Sumter County now. That does include us in the Villages and Bushnell. This is going to go until 3:45 into the afternoon, so about 30-ish minutes to go as we're watching a few of these cells. There's nothing really organized, but it is this broken round of thunderstorms coming through. I'm going to switch to the Tampa radar now, because that is where the storms are most close. We used 3 distinct radars through central Florida, and we do have this little guy bubbling back up just to the north and east of us in Webster and Bushnell. It's likely a preemptive strike here for this nasty stuff that is sliding through again right off of the Gulf, and that's coming through the Big Bend now. So it's pretty tame right now. You might be wondering why those that your phone might be going off if you have the free News 6 weather app. If you don't, a good way to get those watches and warnings that are issued by the National Weather Service is downloading the free News 6 weather app. You can track these storms right alongside me tonight. But we do have this lone cell, but it's mainly for this stuff that's brewing just to the west of us. So I have my eye on that for you, even though it's relatively tame. I would not be surprised if we see an expansion of that severe thunderstorm warning in parts of Marion County that we were just looking at earlier as well. While we have some rock and thunderstorms in and around Deltona and then pushing just to the north and east of us in Volusia County. Nothing severe at this time, although I'm watching as it gets closer to the Space Coast where the atmosphere is a little more juiced. I have my eye on this, guys. If we have any more of those bells that you might hear in the background, we'll be sure to bring in the latest on that. But the new bell that you just heard there, that is going to be for Sumter County until 3:45. That's a severe thunderstorm warning, with the main issue with that, guys, being straight line damaging winds.
Okay, Jonathan Kegas, thank you so much. Jonathan, we may see a lot of you in the show, because as you just said, if we hear that sound, you're our guy.
Yeah, that is for sure. All right, moving to other news now. A shootout in South Daytona ends with a police officer taken to the hospital.
As News 6's Tylisa Hampton explains, this all started as a road rage investigation.
And we know that South Daytona police officer was shot twice. He is recovering in the hospital, is expected to be okay. But this all came after an alleged road rage shooting. A South Daytona police officer is recovering at the hospital after officials say he went to investigate a road rage shooting off Country Lane Sunday morning.
He was shot twice. God was on his side today.
Officials say when Officer Fezden and others responded to the shooting, the suspect, Todd Anthony Martin, led officers on a police chase until he crashed on I-95. Instead of giving up, he tried to run again, this time on foot.
As our officers were in foot pursuit, he spun around and fired multiple rounds at our officers.
When Officer Fessenden was shot in the shoulder and leg, he shot back, hitting Martin. Only that didn't stop him from trying to get away for a third time, only in an officer's patrol car.
He did do something electrically, and the car caught fire, and he jumped out of the vehicle after several minutes of the vehicle being engulfed in flames.
Martin was arrested while Officer Fessenden was taken to the hospital to recover. And we have been told that officer is expected to be okay. As for Martin's condition, we haven't learned about his medical condition. However, we have been told that he was placed under medical custody. Reporting for News 6, I'm Talisa Hampton.
Scary situation. Our best wishes to that officer.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, investigators in Daytona Beach are working to track down the people responsible for 4 separate shootings that all happened over the weekend. 4 of them. Daytona Beach police tell us that they were called to those shootings, all in just a couple of miles from each other on Saturday, just after midnight Saturday morning. Officials say someone fired their gun inside a club called The Joint. Then a little later, an 18-year-old man was shot near the aquarium. Then later Saturday night, a 59-year-old man was shot near Sunnyland Park. 30 minutes after that man was shot, a 19-year-old was shot near the Slingshot Ride. Again, these all happened just a couple of miles apart. We are working to find out how all of these victims are doing today. Investigators are working to track down the 4 suspects, but at this point, they haven't made any arrest in any of these cases. They did say at least 2 of the shooters are believed to be from out of town and not local, and also that 2 of the victims are not local as well. So if you have any information that can help with any of these shootings, text Daytona Beach Police or Crime Stoppers. You see all the information right there on your screen. You can also find it on clickorlando.com. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed is looking into spring break safety concerns, and that is coming up ahead on the news at 4 o'clock. But just startling when you hear all of those numbers.
Yeah, it's got to give families heartburn if they have
because
kids.
Because their kids are out here for
spring
break. Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we pay attention to, that we hope we don't have to report on every year, but this is one of those situations where we do.
We sure do.
Yeah. All right, well, still to come, the latest community looking to make changes to e-bike rules.
Plus, a lot of you are talking about something we just talked about, spring break safety, and we're going to talk about it after the break. All right, welcome back to News 6 at 3 o'clock. Another city is looking to crack down on e-bikes today. We've been talking a lot about these things. DeLand is the latest to take up restrictions in the downtown area.
Yeah, it feels like there's a new story about e-bikes
every
single
day,
week. Bikes and skateboards are already prohibited on sidewalks there. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez looks into what other changes the city is considering.
Downtown DeLand is a place many go to enjoy a bite to eat or hang out with friends.
Come today afternoon, you're going to see all the streets packed with people.
At Tony's New York Pizza, the owner tells me even when the sidewalks are full, he sees e-bikes zip by, taking up a lot of the pedestrian pathway.
In street cars, some going crazy. Customers eating outside, old people walking, especially with little kids, you know. I never hear nothing, just psh.
Last month, the police department asked city leaders to prohibit e-bikes on downtown sidewalks. And it wouldn't be a big change from what's already on the books here in the city because skateboards, bicycles, and scooters are already prohibited on sidewalks in downtown. So the commission will be considering clarifying if e-bikes will be included in that list. Not only do some think they raise a lot of safety concerns, some of the owners in town think they're also a nuisance for customers who sit outside.
Thank God I got a wide sidewalk and it's a little bit easy for me. But other places it's danger. Very, very, very hard to doing business.
And that, you see that video right there, that is just normal every day. And younger and younger kids are learning how to ride these things. So you have to be really, really careful. So there have to be some rules.
We were just saying we see it in our personal lives. When we're
right
driving.
here when we leave work every single day, we have to be extra careful. Well, it is spring break across Central Florida and, of course, the country.
A lot of people are talking about it online, so our social media guru, DJ, no last name, like Seal, is taking a look at your comments.
Where is this energy for race week and bike week? What Rod and everyone is talking about is this post from Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood about spring breakers.
If you come here and you respect our community, we're not going to have a problem. But if you come here and you want to be disrespectful, we're going to be just as disrespectful back.
That's the sheriff's message to people visiting this week. And there's more where that came from.
And I think it's also important to let parents know, because just because you're dropping your spring breaker off here and you think, oh, now I'm going to be on spring break, you better make sure that they're following the rules or you're going to be coming back and picking them up out of a jail cell.
Now let's dive into some of the hundreds of comments this post received, like this one from Bob. He says, I know it's tough to be hard on kids, but today this is necessary. This will make it safe and fun for all, including our residents. Pat says, great attitude, stand your ground. This is where we live. They are just visiting, show some respect. Jason says, that's really bad for business if you counted on spring break to finally make some money. And this one's my favorite from Jim. Come for vacation, don't go home on probation. Now this isn't the sheriff's first warning for spring breakers, and probably not the last. But what do you think? Was the sheriff being too harsh, or was his message not even strong enough? Go to that QR code on the screen right now. It's gonna take you to this Facebook post. This is your chance to leave your own message for all the people visiting Central Florida this week.
Hey guys, we are back at it with the new severe thunderstorm warning. If you're in Marion County and you have the free News 6 weather app, and I hope you do, download it for free again to stay on top of the weather situation as we go forward. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning now for Marion County. We talked about this just about 10 minutes ago that we would likely see an issuance here with that line coming through parts of Ocala into Bellevue. And now officially there from the National Weather Service, severe thunderstorm warning rolling until 4 o'clock. And do a little bit of some radar dissection here. Certainly you see the darker reds coming through. The main threat with this is going to be damaging straight line winds, wind gusts in excess of 55 to 60 miles an hour. Again, that severe designation is once the wind gets to 58 miles per hour or above. Also closer to Bellevue Heights, we have some very heavy rain coming through. We'll take you right into downtown Ocala, and you see the darker red on your screen. That is indicating, again, where we have the very heavy rainfall. We also have some lightning. Lots and lots of lightning coming through here. Again, the total strikes, again, showing 0 on the map, but on the lightning data, again, we're watching that closely. East Silver Springs Boulevard in Ocala, again, we are in the beet red there. That is where we have some very heavy rain, maybe a little bit of small hail coming. I don't see hail as the primary threat, though, with this line as we zoom back out. So Silver Springs, again, as a whole, Camp Roosevelt into Huntington, into Santos. This is going to be an early heads up. If you're looking west, the sky is going to be dark as night. But again, I want you to hightail it pilot inside, stay away from the windows. And you see the latest radar update again puts that right on the outside of Santos. Early heads up again, getting into Electra, into East Lake Weir and Orange Blossom Hills. As we zoom things out to show you again, we're working tonight in Marion County, at least with the strongest storm at this hour anyway, as it slides on through. I will put the loop on this for you so you can see where this thing came from and kind of all those little cluster of cells that we were talking about 15 minutes ago kind of congealed, and now we have this coming through. If you noticed and looked up and saw all of the puffy clouds kind of zipping across the sky today, there's a lot of wind energy about 2,500 to 3,000 feet above your head there, and that's what the heavy rain is bringing back down to the surface. So again, potential for some power outages here and some damaging wind gusts. You also know, again, you see that peach shaded color, that very light yellow start to show up, and that's going to include northwest Orange County, west Orange County, including us in Apopka. It is quiet now if I put a pause on the radar, but all this mess that's working through Sumter County and Marion County, where we have those severe thunderstorm warnings, that is going to slide through within the next hour or so. So I have my eye on that for you. We'll take a look at where these things are headed and the rest of the evening when we talk again. We'll be right back.
I'm News 6 anchor Louis Bold, and an ongoing funding fight is taking its toll on the TSA. And the bad news continues when it comes to oil prices. Let's get over to Maribel Aber in today's Money Matters. And Maribel, the Trump administration is now pleading for other countries to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
It is, Lewis. Let's dial back here. Oil prices jumping to their highest levels since July 2022 after Iran blocked the Straits of Hormuz. U.S. crude traded around $101 a barrel, while global crude briefly climbed to 106. So prices have actually pulled back a bit, but oil is still holding near $100 a barrel this morning. The waterway carries about 1/5 of the world's oil supply, keeping markets on edge. And over the weekend, as you mentioned there, the Trump administration called on the international community for help in reopening the waterway. Now, at the pump, the current average for a gallon of unleaded around Orlando is $3.70, according to AAA. That's 2 cents lower than the national average. Energy officials say gas prices rise about 2.5 cents for every dollar increase in oil prices, Louis.
And from the pump to airports, hundreds of TSA agents have quit during an ongoing funding battle.
Louis, this is what we know. The Department of Transportation confirms that at least 300 TSA agents have quit amid this Homeland Security funding shutdown. Secretary Sean Duffy says call-outs have doubled over the past 4 weeks. TSA and other federal workers missed their first full paycheck this weekend after funding lapsed in mid-February. Now, some staffers have told news outlets they're tapping into retirement funds or getting loans to pay bills. The average salary for TSA workers is $35,000 a year, according to Airlines for America. Some airports have put out donation boxes so passengers can bring canned goods or gift cards. I mean, Louis, a bit of warning, if you're going to tap into retirement funds, that can trigger those tax penalties, also derails long-term compounding, meaning thousands of dollars less in savings.
That's right. All right. We will continue to follow it. Maribel, thank you. And remember, to get the latest money and consumer news anytime, just head to clickorlando.com.
Well, as we reach the bottom of the hour, we're, of course, keeping a close eye on the forecast. Meteorologist Jonathan Keggis has more coming up after the break.
Welcome back to News 6 at 3 o'clock on this weather alert day. We have been talking about it all afternoon and will probably go well into the evening.
Oh, yeah. Our team of meteorologists have designated today a weather alert day. So we're going to get right out to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, who's tracking all we can expect. Jonathan?
Yeah, I get you up to speed on some of the warnings we have rolling through right now. Nasty line of thunderstorms pushing through parts of Sumter and into Marion County. We had some stronger thunderstorms around the I-4 corridor about 2 hours ago. But here's this main line that we are tracking again. Severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Marion County. Going to continue to stay with us until 4 o'clock, so about 30 more minutes. Again, we have some stronger winds sliding through. We'll get into street level in just 1 second. And then here are the nasty line of thunderstorms that's pushing through Bushnell into Webster and then continuing in extreme southern Sumter County just south of us in Nobleton. That's where the strongest stuff is. Again, doesn't look too impressive, at least from the radar perspective. However, there is so much wind energy just a few thousand feet above our heads that you can see those clouds moving fast when we get these heavier downpours. It mixes down what we call those stronger wind gusts, and then it produces those downbursts. So again, in and around Webster, that's an early heads up. It's likely getting windy. It's certainly dark to your west. Center Hill into Mabel, Linden, good evening. Watch out for those thunderstorms that are just off to your west. Again, want to hightail it back inside. Bellevue, again, those strongest thunderstorms are on our doorstep right now. The Villages, just some light rain, but off towards our west, that's where we have some nasty stuff going through. Now, there is a tornado watch tonight for Sumter, Marion, and Flagler counties. That's going to roll until 8 o'clock. I think that's going to be allowed to expire early, but we're not under a watch here for anything for the rest of Central Florida. Still, though, we will see the opportunity for a few of those stronger thunderstorms, as we've already seen. To see the severe risk highlighted in yellow. That is for everybody until about 9 to 10 o'clock tonight as we watch that line sag down from northwest to southeast. If we have any more warnings come through, guys, while we're talking, we're going to break back in and we're going to talk about where the latest warnings are. For now, we'll send it back into the newsroom, guys.
Okay, Jonathan, we're obviously going to check back in with you if the situation arises. Thank you so much. Moving on now, some homeowners in Winter Springs are not happy after they say workers put up tree-sized towers right up in their backyard.
Yeah, so they told News 6 investigator Erica Brugulio that they're worried it's going to hurt property values. Erica, the city tells you that there's limited things that they can do.
Yes, and we're talking about 5G towers. These are the towers that increase connectivity on your mobile devices, bring you faster data speeds, which we all need.
Of course.
But in this situation, the city of Winter Springs says there is not much they can do when choosing where these towers are located. And they are citing a federal law. It is called the Advanced Wireless Infrastructure Deployment Act. And this law pretty much limits local government control on where these 5G towers are located. Now, the city can deny an application for these towers only for a select number of reasons. If they're not ADA compliant, if they mess with pedestrian or traffic safety, but there's a select margin of what they can do when it comes to the location of these towers.
Yeah, and to be clear, these towers are the ones we're seeing on the screen right now. They're like the height of big trees.
Yes. They're not the ones you'll see on the Parkway where they're covered by leaves. There are these black towers, and a lot of property owners are concerned because they're feet away from their homes, they're in their backyards, they're worried about their property values. And I don't know if you guys have been to Winter Springs. It's a beautiful area, lots of trees, a lot of people move there to kind of get away from that.
So people worried about the aesthetic nature of it.
And the safety too. Okay, so is there anything they can do? Because we mentioned the size of them. Can they just be moved somewhere else?
Well, so the city of Winter Springs is working with the carrier to discuss any proposed permits that are in on where, okay, you know what, you propose to put this here. Maybe we can go to another location. The issue is for the towers that already have been installed that we just showed you in that video. The commissioner I spoke with told me that could be anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000 to relocate those towers.
I don't even want to ask you who's going to pay for that.
According to the commissioner, the city will, which means the taxpayers would have to pay for the relocation of those towers.
Oh my gosh!
Well, that's fascinating, and we've seen this pop up in community meetings all over the country. It's become an issue, to a lot of people.
And we're pretty spoiled. We all want 5G. We just don't want what it actually looks like.
Yeah. Exactly. Or near our homes.
Of course. All right, Erica. We'll see you in other shows. Thank you so much for that. All right, Bright Line trains have been getting from Central Florida to South Florida, made it getting there a lot easier, cutting travel time in some cases in half.
Yeah, we've all taken it, or a lot of us have. Communities along the route have been trying to get stops added. In Cocoa, for example, it's been a years-long effort. Your Cocoa community correspondent, James Parvero, joins us live now. So, James, officials are not giving up hope?
Hi, Mike and Ginger. No, not after several years, as you mentioned. Cocoa, one of the communities in Brevard County that wants the county's first Brightline station. It would be right here. This is where US 1 meets the 528. It always made sense to a lot of people because Port Canaveral is close, Kennedy Space Center is close, and then due west, of course, is the Orlando Airport where the route ends. Well, 2 years ago, I sat down with the county and we talked about securing about $50 million in federal funding. That would make up the largest chunk of what's gone from about an $80 million project to now a $90 million project. Well, in 2024, then we had an election and administrations changed. So now the city tells me their holdup is keeping them from getting that money. So they had to reapply. And now they're hoping it will be this summer that they can finally secure that $50 million in grant funding and get the construction started. If they can finally do that now, Mike and Ginger, they say the station could open in 2029 now, and there's definitely a lot of people excited about that. Hopefully it can happen.
Corner of 2029.
Yeah, and if you've asked anyone who takes Brightline to South Florida on a regular basis, it is a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
So you can understand why they want this thing to come yesterday.
Yeah, you don't often hear people after they take public
Ginger,
transportation.
there's a lot of new
brag about it.
development right here in North Cocoa, including many apartment complexes. And I talked to one of those people who can't wait to ride this train. These new apartment complexes are actually so close to this site that the future riders there could walk here. She's in my full story coming up tonight at 4:45.
All right, we will look forward to that. James Barbero reporting from Cocoa. James, thank you.
Thanks, James. Now, a Florida couple whose love story started with sunset walks and kayaking trips is now facing a medical crisis. Their honeymoon ending after the husband was bitten by a venomous snake.
This is terrifying. That bite led to serious lung disease, and now they're hoping for a life-changing transplant. Correspondent Juliana Narvaez has the story.
For David Linton, meeting his wife Sharon was written in the stars.
She drew me right to her.
A love story that couldn't have seemed more perfect.
We said I do at sunset at Reddington Beach.
Taking a turn for the worse. During their honeymoon in Floral City back in 2024, their lives changed forever.
When I saw him jump 10 feet in the air, oh my gosh, something just got me, something got me.
A cottonmouth snake bite sending David on a long and complicated medical journey.
Pumping oxygen for me.
He's still battling.
I just wanted to say thank you for your prayers.
Just 1 month ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 pulmonary fibrosis, a disease making it difficult for the lungs to function properly.
I need a double lung transplant.
David now has to use a 24/7 breathing machine. And to make matters worse, the couple says their insurance won't cover the transplant he needs to survive.
So we are reaching out for help, any help that we can get, because my husband, a year ago, he was a hardworking, providing husband.
It's a scary thing. I work with these animals on a daily basis.
Joseph Finley, a nurse practitioner and licensed venomous snake keeper, says that out of the 6,000 to 7,000 snake bites in the U.S. every year, only 6% of those are from cottonmouth snakes.
What happens is as the body breaks down muscle tissue and there's byproducts of those muscle cell death and the anticoagulation or blood clots that are thrown after the fact, those things can have more severe effects on the organs over time.
We want to continue our beautiful love together, and the only way we can do it is to get the help that he needs.
Now the Lintons are turning to the community for help. In addition to donations, the couple says they're hoping a nonprofit organization will step in to help them financially as they continue the fight to give David a second chance at life.
Oh, it's heartbreaking when you see how vibrant he was before all of this. But, you know, anytime you call on the community, I know about Central Florida and you know about the Florida community in general, people will respond.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, hopefully this reaches the right people, and this is why we do these stories.
That is for sure. Well, we are keeping a close eye on storms making their way through Central Florida. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas will have an update on the forecast coming up after the break.
Plus, the state will be able to keep profiting off you after a bill failed in Tallahassee. We'll show you how.
Your Monday evening traffic alert. Storms could delay a lot of the construction, but it didn't last night. So we'll see what happens tonight. Watch out along the northern portions of the Florida Turnpike. We'll see those closures again out in the Montverde area. Now, the construction out on 429 and Schofield, not scheduled to continue, but it could still remain out there. Just want you to be aware, it didn't happen over the weekend. And then some lane closures out here, I-4 east and westbound between about the Turnpike, State Road 528, and then the express lanes closed again westbound I-4 right before 434. You won't be able to make it in there. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Bill Ray Nissan Longwood. We do it the right way.
All right, welcome back to News 6 at 3 o'clock, everybody. If you know anything about what's going on today, then you know why this picture looks a little choppy. But when it is moving, it is windy. Look at the white caps in that water. This is a beautiful, normally beautiful Mount Dora, but there's some stuff moving in today. And meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. Jonathan, I shouldn't say joining. You've been here all day tracking what's going on out there.
Yeah, we're watching the line. You can clearly see that it's getting ready to move into Mount Dora. We've had a couple of things. We got some more bells and whistles going off. So we're likely going to see more warnings be issued across the thing. It's going to check to see where that is, and you're likely going to see this map update here momentarily. Certainly the power outages are also mounting, and we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. For Lake County, where we just took a look at, we have the line pushing through. So let me put a pause on the radar loop here. Nasty stuff getting ready to move into western Volusia County. That includes us in Pearson. We have that special weather statement, as it's called. So that is when we have things just below severe criteria. That's going to be like 50-mile-per-hour winds as well. Let me back this train up a little bit. We're going to go back into parts of Sumter County and on the west side of Lake County, where we saw things getting kind of wild there in Mount Dora. These are the storms that are approaching us. So in the next few minutes, again, we're going to be really watching for these to slide through. We have a healthy downpour coming in on the west side at Tavares now. Some gusty winds going to be associated with that. There is Mount Dora, again, looking very dark if you look back off towards your west. Leesburg, it is getting real ugly out there right now. We have the strongest stuff just to the west of town. You know exactly what I'm talking about in Coleman, Lake Panasoffkee, and Bushnell tonight. I want to take you closer into Sumterville, where you see these purples here just to the north of Bushnell. This is where we could have some small hail falling at this time. And again, we do have this severe thunderstorm warning for hail up to the size of quarters and the gusty winds. That's going to be right on Main Street there. So if you're familiar with that, State Road 471 in Sumter County, also getting very, very heavy rain. I want to take you closer into Lake County as well. Mascot into Groveland, into Mabel right now. Very heavy rain pushing through, no doubt gusty winds. And again, it's not going to take much. These storms may not look as impressive as what they would do on even a typical summer day. But what we typically don't have on your everyday afternoon thunderstorm is the wind energy that's several thousand feet above your head. So when we get these heavy rain, it kind of brings that down to the surface, and that's what's causing some of the issues that we are having out there today. I want to show you some of the power outages. They are beginning to mount a little bit. We'll go to the power outage section, especially into parts of Seminole County. I'm going to get my dabber here. We're going to do some inspecting. And again, Seminole County now has 1,000 people without power. And again, this was all clean prior to these storms moving through. And then in Volusia County, last update now, 3,500 people without power. So these storms certainly packing a little bit of a punch as they slide through. Again, that is why we have the Weather Alert Day designation. It's all out ahead of this cold front. You see that there are flakes flying to the north of Atlanta. That's the secondary component that we are going to talk much more about coming out at 4, as we're going to have a gigantic blast of colder air arriving by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. So we're going to take a look at that. If you want to get a look at that and track these storms, again, you can always download the free News 6 weather app as well. Just search WKMG in your app store. Of course, the forecast is there. You get all the alerts that are being issued today and whenever we have strong thunderstorms around. And of course, you can track those storms right alongside me as we go forward through the rest of the afternoon. Remember, it's all free.
Driver data being sold. I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton. If you're wondering, what does driver data include? It's things like on your ID. That includes your name, your address, even your birth date that state representatives are saying are being sold by the state to some third parties for money. Your data for sale.
That's horrible. It's like, no, that's my privacy, my information should be for me only.
But it's not. Some state officials say for the last 15 years, Florida has raked in almost $500 million selling your information to the highest bidder. What do you think about just hearing that the state can sell driver's license information?
That's pretty surprising. That's actually quite scary. Like, why are they able to sell our information, and who needs it?
I think it's horrible for the people because it's not fair that the information that we have is leaked like that. It's disgraceful to me.
Recently, a bill that would have limited Florida's data sharing on things like names, addresses, driver's license numbers, crash history, organ donor statuses died without lawmakers even giving it a hearing.
I'd like to be told, yes, absolutely. I mean, it seems like an invasion, almost.
Do you hope that they talk about it at some point in the future about stopping that?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I don't want my information everywhere, you know? It's like, it's not fair.
And as of right now, it's unclear when this bill will be brought back up again by lawmakers. But those drivers, they tell us hopefully restrictions are made soon. Reporting for News 6, I'm Talisa Hampton.
All right, moving on now. Did you smell that?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, that's madness in the air. March Madness.
I was going to say
in case you didn't know.
I was going to say my cologne, but
It is not.
we smell different things.
Okay. Go on.
Yes.
Go. What is
The
wrong with
NCAA tournament is here, and once again, Central Florida will be represented in the big dance. Here to talk to us about it, of course, is Ryan Welch.
Thank goodness, Ryan.
I'm the smelly guy. I'm the smelly guy. Yeah, that's me. Just strolling around the newsroom, stinking up the joint.
Okay, enough about the smells.
Yeah,
we want to talk about
March Madness. You guys ready? Excited about this? Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
You should be. Yeah, UCF, man.
This doesn't happen that often, guys. 2019 was the last time UCF made the NCAA tournament, but they're in this time, an at-large bid, thanks to what they did in the Big 12 this year. And they got UCLA in a first-round matchup on Friday night in Philadelphia. It's a 7-10 matchup, guys, so that's kind of a toss-up. So they're a slight underdog right now, but UCF has beaten a lot of good teams this year, so there's a lot of room for confidence here. They've beaten schools like Kansas, Texas Tech. They won at BYU. They beat Texas A&M earlier this year, and they took a team like Vanderbilt right down to the wire. Vanderbilt played for the SEC championship, so there's a lot on the resume to be impressed with.
So what needs to go right for them to advance?
Well, they got to score more than UCLA.
Wow.
And, I think I've heard
sports, everybody.
No, well, a lot of things obviously have to go well, but they have a lot of NCAA tournament experience on the roster because these days there's so many transfers. So you got guys coming in.
For sure.
Right, so they've got that big game experience. It's a pretty good three-point shooting team, and UCLA's top player, a guy named Tyler Bilodeau, is a little banged up. He had a knee strain, so he is expected to play, but we'll see if he's at 100%.
All right, so Ryan, if it's just us talking off camera and I'm working on my brackets.
Okay. Oh,
Am I?
Don't ask me.
What do you mean, don't ask you?
Terrible at it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, should I take UCF all the way?
All the way? No, I don't think
So is there such thing as a moral victory here if they make it 2 or 3 rounds?
Well, the fact that, of course. Yeah, well, and any success in the NCAA tournament is much more than a moral victory, but I think they can beat UCLA. I think it's going to be a close game. After that, they will likely face UConn. UConn's been down a little bit, but you never know. So
Number 2 seed, right?
Absolutely,
UConn,
So we'll see. Let's go Knights and see if they can make a little bit of a
we
run
are
here.
pulling for them, and they've done so well up
Had a
to
great
this
year.
point. All right, are we going to Kegas one more time? All right, let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas because it is an active weather day out there. Jonathan.
Just hot off the press, a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for Flagler County here. You see the really nasty stuff coming out of Crescent City and into Putnam County. This is going to be sliding through. We also have kind of a random cell out ahead of it as well. This is moving from Corona back into Flagler Beach and into Beverly Beach. I'm watching you guys in Bimini, into New Run, into Cody's Corner, because that is where we're going to watch this first. And then also, of course, in Marineland and Palm Coast, as this really ugly looking cell again slides through. This severe thunderstorm warning going to roll until about 4:30 into the evening as it crosses parts of really the entire county of Flagler County. And this really extends all the way back into Lake and Sumter County as well. So we'll be watching to see if a severe thunderstorm warning comes out for Lake over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. We'll be tracking this, of course, all afternoon long. I'm going to have the latest. I'm going to do some dissecting here, and then we will talk again coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Hello. Oh, you can.
an annual walk raising funds for seniors in Seminole County. I'm News 6's Alex Cook, and dozens are out here walking Frayne Roost Park in Altamont Springs early Saturday morning. But it isn't just for exercise. Organizers say this March for Meals annual event helps raise money for Meals on Wheels, etc., to support those seniors across the county.
Join us today to the caring about the seemingly forgot, the seniors in Seminole County that we support.
Hundreds of people came out to support Meals on Wheels, etc., in its mission of feeding homebound Seminole County seniors. Walkers and runners of all ages circled the lake 3 times, then headed back for brunch served by Top Hat Catering, the organization's own catering operation. The longtime Seminole County organization is best known for delivering meals to seniors, but it also provides check-ins and other support for older adults who may have trouble leaving their homes.
The funds we raise with this event goes directly towards the cost of meals. Over the last 5 or 6 years, especially coming out of COVID with all the inflation, our food costs have been soaring.
McKee says that matters for many seniors living on fixed incomes, where every dollar has to stretch further as food and housing costs rise.
Even in a fairly wealthy county like a Seminole County, they need help. Fixed incomes are what they are. And when prices go up and their fixed income stays about the same, that's a problem.
Every donation from the event helps provide 5 meals for a local senior, according to Meals on Wheels, etc.
We want seniors to know they are not forgotten, and we care. And boy, look at all these people here that care today.
I'm your Altamont Springs community correspondent, Alex Cook.
Alex Cook always bringing us a good time out there. So we're getting ready for News 6 at 4. Of course, we're keeping an eye on the weather. You see the radar at the bottom of your screen. And also coming up, your Volusia community correspondent, Molly Reed, is talking to city leaders and deputies about a spring break pop-up event that has many people frustrated and concerned.
Yeah, you're going to want to watch for that. News 6 at 4 starts right now.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at 4.
All right, we want to get right to the severe storms moving through Central Florida on this weather alert day. Just check out this video outside of our news station in Orange County. We had our eyes glued to this scene. It actually pulled us away from our afternoon meeting. You can see all of that wind, all of the rain. We're all dealing with the impact of this. Of course, we've got team coverage for you.
And your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Monahalel, is taking a look at how the weather is impacting flights. Even your traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve Montiero, is keeping an eye on the roads.
All right, but first we want to check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas with those details on the timing and the impacts of this severe weather. So, Jonathan, take it away.
Yeah, we're seeing the main line working through pretty much right on schedule here. If you were with us at the end of the 3 p.m., we talked about the brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Flagler County. I turned all the boxes off so we can actually see what's going on in here. And again, Crescent City, this is coming just outside of us. Want to give you the timeline here. Into Espanola, about 17 minutes. Bunnell in about 15 to 20 minutes. DuPont in about 15 to 20. Same for us in Corona, Mountain Grove in about 25 minutes as this really nasty line of thunderstorms works its way back into Flagler County. This is just the northern end of that. As we scale back and take a look at the wide view of this, all of this is working its way from west to east. And some nasty thunderstorms again coming through Umatilla into Eustis. Skies are really, really dark. We took a live look there from Mount Dora just a little bit ago. And now the rain is on our doorstep back from Eustis. Very heavy gusty winds moving into Tavares right now. Lisbon, we are getting the super heavy rain in Lake County. Pumpkin Center and Orange Blossom, we are just about to get in on that as well. We're dry right now from Asachula into Apopka to West Orange County. That is going to change, though, with some pretty gusty thunderstorms coming down the pipeline. Again, you see that whole line pushing through. Now, there is a tornado watch for part of Central Florida until 8 o'clock tonight. That's going to extend from Flagler County back to Marion and Sumter. Almost ready to give the all clear on that. Another hour or two, and we're going to watch that line sag south. We don't have any watches here for the rest of Central Florida. Still, the opportunity is there for a few strong thunderstorms in the mix, just not as widespread as to warrant a watch, and that's why the National Weather Service did not do that. But again, a few strong thunderstorms going to be possible through about 8 to 9 o'clock tonight area-wide. It's all because of this cold front that is going to deliver a big blast of colder air by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about that part of your forecast coming up at about 4:17. First, though, want to get a check on how those roads are doing. I see he's working into some darker clouds out there as he's heading west tonight through Central Florida. Steve.
Yeah, Jonathan, it's totally different. Definitely different being out with you guys in the afternoon, experiencing it. I even had hail coming down in my house in Seminole County a little while when that first little bit of weather came through. But right now, we're southbound 429, out where Jonathan was kind of pinpointing when he was giving that information out during the 330, out here southbound at the 44. Look at these clouds, guys. It's pretty dense. You could just look at these clouds and understand, all right, we have some weather moving through. So if you got to drive through this at some point, there are no major issues going on right now, but the goal here is prevention, right? So a few things just off the cuff I want to give to you guys. No cruise control today in any of that heavy weather. Make sure you're manually turning on your headlights. You always hear me say it, not for you to see, but to be seen. And listen, I know this is unpopular, but if you feel that you need to turn on your hazard lights because your driving is that impaired, then maybe find a parking lot, take a little bit of a break, leave the roadway safely and into an area where you can park, wait out that storm, and then you can drive out safely. Because as of right now, you can see this stuff moving through. If I could switch to a different camera here, you can just see that eastern, that west, that's from the west side of the truck there, those clouds going to be moving in on 429 here in the next few. Now, I'm going to be making my way into Mount Dora where these storms are moving through. Obviously, Results One is prepared for that. And when you have Jonathan Kegas leading the charge here, I feel pretty safe. So for now, I'm live inside Results One, waiting for meteorologist Jonathan Kegas to steer me in the right way. I'll send it back to you guys.
And this is exactly why we love having this team. Thank you so much, Steve. All right, here at 402, we are following breaking news. We're seeing a lot of firefighters and first responders. This is near a lake in Orange County.
It's happening near Lake Jessamine, right near South Orange Avenue, near Holden Avenue. It's not far from 441. Let's get right to your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell. He just got to the scene. Troy, what can you tell us?
So right now we're in Cypress Grove Park. We drove in and immediately law enforcement turned us around and had us go closer towards the entrance. And right now I'm watching behind our camera. They're turning away people from the public attempting to come to this park. If you take a look behind me, you can see that they have put caution tape near and around the lake. You can kind of see it near the playground area. We've also seen at least one group of people showing up here. They appear to be visibly upset and consoling each other. There's still several law enforcement vehicles out here from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Now, also, take a look. We have video showing at least one Orange County Sheriff's Office boat in the water, Lake Jessamine, searching that water, dive teams out on the water. Now, lots of questions, though. What are they looking for? What exactly happened? Did somebody, are they searching for somebody? Is somebody unaccounted for? But we did see the scene, nonetheless, in Lake Jessamine, the Orange County Sheriff's Office coming out with their dive boats into the lake here. And then at Cypress Grove Park, across from that, is then our vantage point where we came out to. And then that's where we're seeing the scene out here. We are awaiting an update from the Orange County Fire Rescue, so we're going to remain in place for when that representative comes over, because like I said, there are a lot of questions. Who are they searching for? Was someone unaccounted for? What exactly happened? So we'll continue to monitor this and, of course, bring you all the updates. Until then, live in Orange County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Okay, details really scant, but Troy, we know you're going to stay on top of it. Thank you so much.
Here at 404, we want to bring you a live look at Orlando International Airport from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You can see hazy skies there, weather all across the country, and of course here in Central Florida. It is causing delays, even some cancellations at MCO. We saw it on the radar, and then we saw it in real time from Trooper Steve. So the people there trying to catch flights have now been scrambling just to come up with some kind of plan to make it back to wherever they're coming from.
Yeah, and your Orange County community correspondent has been at the airport all day tracking these delays. Jana Manahalal. Jana, what are you seeing right now?
Honestly, guys, if you look at the lobby on the main part of MCO, it looks like a typical Monday at MCO. But as soon as you look at this big board, as we call it, most of these flights are canceled and delayed. I mean, this is the most amount of red I have ever seen. We've talked to multiple families, and one even said that they've tried to rebook 3 different times.
First Southwest, then JetBlue, and now back to Southwest.
What did Southwest tell you when they first canceled it?
They just said best of luck. So, but they gave us credit, which we didn't really want. But
red flight statuses are covering the flight tracker board here at the Orlando International Airport.
You have a third flight, a third attempt at 8 p.m. tonight.
Yep. hoping for the best. I'm nervous.
Yeah. Meaning delays are quickly turning into cancellations.
We were scheduled on Frontier this morning to fly out today at 2. We went through 3 delays and then it was finally canceled. And so I was able to book a flight with United. They delayed us once and then canceled. I was able to book on Southwest through Birmingham. We're trying to get to Denver.
Okay.
So far, it's still showing on time. That goes out 10 tonight with a 7-hour layover in Birmingham. We're supposed to get in tomorrow in Denver at like 7:30.
A viewer shared with us this email they received from Delta for their flight tomorrow on Tuesday with suggestions about next steps. Many were left waiting with no backup plan and are now stuck waiting at least a day for a new flight.
They can't get us on anything today, tomorrow. And it's the best they could do is Wednesday night.
Oh my God.
So we don't really have
a plan, a backup, anything.
No.
And with the skies shut down, some are taking to the road.
Now the plan is to take a charter bus all the way back to
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
How long is that bus ride?
I think they said it's going to be around like 20 hours.
We returned our car yesterday, and now I tried to get another one through Avis. They had no cars left. So now we got one through Hertz, I think.
Despite the MCO ground stop that happened last night due to thunderstorms and the countless delays and cancellations people are experiencing today, people seem to be in a relatively good mood.
We decided before we even got here today that we're just going to totally be chill. That no matter what we thought, no matter how we behaved, it wasn't going to change the situation.
I honestly think that's probably the best attitude to come to the airport with, no matter what the situation is. But right now, FlightAware.com, which is updating to the minute with cancellations and delays, shows the total cancellations is at 364 just at OIA, and the total delays are 459. We're going to give you a quick look at the gate. Right here, we're looking at wait times at about 15 to 19 minutes. Those have definitely increased since we've been here. They started at about your typical 5 to 8 minutes and have definitely steadily gone up. But definitely keep an eye on your flight status if you do plan to start any spring break trips today. For now, live at MCO, I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
Gosh, what a mess, Jana. Thank you for those up-to-date, minute-to-minute updates. We want to get to a death investigation right near a Target. So deputies say they got a call about a man floating in a pond this morning. They, of course, started investigating by that Target. It's the one on West Earl Bronson Memorial Highway. That's near Kissimmee. Deputies say investigators and the medical examiner are working to figure out how this man died. Of course, we're asking the sheriff's office for more information. As soon as we get it, we'll let you know on air and on clickorlando.com. All right, the first weekend of spring break in Daytona Beach, that was met by chaos. This is all according to local leaders. Daytona Beach police say they are investigating 4 separate shootings, but they all happened on the same day. This is Saturday. Leaders say a pop-up event on the beach, it brought some unruly crowds. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed looking into how the city handled this and if more could have been done.
The Volusia County Sheriff tells us that just on the sand on the beach alone this weekend, they arrested 133 people. He says this unpermitted, unsanctioned event that popped up and brought thousands started on the beach and then spilled into the city.
You have an unsanctioned event run by social media. My estimate is probably somewhere close to 9,000 people, maybe even 10,000 people.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says it was a rowdy crowd on the beach. They arrested several with guns, but he says there were no shootings on the sand.
Our job is law enforcement on the beach. So that is county jurisdiction. That is my jurisdiction. Once they leave and go up on the blacktop, they're in the city limits.
But when the crowds got to land, it was more chaotic. This video shows one of 4 shootings Daytona Beach police are investigating from Saturday night. This one on Main Street. There was also a shooting on Seabreeze Boulevard beachside and 2 shootings mainland in the city. The sheriff says law enforcement was aware this pop-up event was likely coming, and the city could have asked them for a special event zone.
The reason it wasn't declared is they didn't want it last weekend. Because I can declare a special event zone, but if they're not going to enforce it, you're sending a message, hey, they're not enforcing it.
A county sheriff can declare a zone for unsanctioned events for a city with 24-hour notice by the city commission. It brings in more law enforcement resources and increases penalties against those who break the law in them. City Commissioner Stacy Cantu wonders why the city manager did not ask commissioners for this.
Usually if something is going on, we get an email blast letting us know that this event's going on, this is happening, We received no communication whatsoever.
Residents and visitors tell me witnessing this was a scary start to spring break.
I actually had just got here and we just got in our Airbnb and we seen it going on, so we're like, oh yeah, we ain't going nowhere today.
Been bringing my granddaughter for about 10 years and I've never seen them like this on the beach.
The sheriff hopes that the city will put in a special event zone for this upcoming weekend. We reached out to the Daytona Beach Police Department to see if the chief would talk to us today. They said he is not doing interviews. We also reached out to the city manager to see if he had a comment, but did not get a response. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
For a dull day during spring break. Thank you, Molly. They're quiet, they're fast, and business owners say they're too close for comfort.
All right, coming up, the latest Central Florida city taking a closer look at e-bikes and the new rules that could be on the way.
These 5G towers are popping up everywhere, and people who live here in Winter Springs are not happy about it.
Because it's just an eyesore.
Would you buy a house with this in the background?
I'm News 6 investigator Erica Bergoglio, and your neighborhood could be next. Coming up, why you and the city can't do much to stop it. Would you want this near your yard? Well, people who live here in Winter Springs say no, they don't. But it turns out the city can't do much to stop the installation of these 5G towers.
Because it's just an eyesore.
Driving up to Frankie Perez's home, you see something looming overhead.
I'd say about 30, 40 feet tall.
This new 5G tower, designed to speed up internet on your phone, sits just feet from his backyard.
Not quite the view. Not quite the view I was thinking about when we bought this house.
Down the road on Winter Springs Boulevard.
That's the smokestack tower.
Another new tower stands directly behind even more homes.
Would you buy a house with this in the background? I'm not sure. I would.
Hallie Johnson reached out to News 6 after seeing the towers pop up near her Tuscaloosa neighborhood.
Why not put it somewhere where it's not going to affect the homeowners' property values?
Good evening. My name is Hallie Johnson.
Johnson asked the city that same question during a commission meeting, discovering, along with commissioners, there's not much that can be done.
First of all, the towers look, in my opinion, look horrible. And second, what about near homes? What are the restrictions, any restrictions near homes, private homes? No, sir. Nope. Jeez.
That's because of a Florida law called the Advanced Wireless Infrastructure Deployment Act. It limits local government control on where 5G towers are placed. As a local government official, you can't control what is being placed in your backyard.
It's called home rule, and the state has taken it away for this reason, and I'm assuming it's because everyone and their mother would be saying no to these.
In Winter Springs, more than a dozen permits for these cell towers have been filed. The city says it will review each permit, including the proposed sites, on a case-by-case basis.
We need the technology in our community, right? We don't want to fall behind. I think that growth is good, but I think growth is good if it's managed correctly.
The city of Winter Springs says it met with Verizon last week to talk about relocating any proposed towers. Those discussions are ongoing. Now, as for moving towers that already have been installed, I'm told we will see. Erica Bergoglio, News 6.
Erica, thank you. So News 6 asked Verizon several questions, including why it chooses certain locations for its towers and if it will consider actually moving them. A spokesperson says these sites are, quote, essential for supporting the high-speed data needs of our mobile subscribers and the growing number of 5G internet customers in the area. So we've posted a full statement on clickorlando.com for you.
Okay, we want to get right out to meteorologist Jonathan Kegis. Jonathan, we've been looking at the weather all afternoon for good reason. We're talking about a line of thunderstorms.
It's right, yeah, some nasty storms at that. The good news is most of these are sub-severe. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning that continues for us into Flagler County. You see the broader line, and that's kind of peach or yellow shaded area, very, very light there on your screen. That's a special weather statement. That is for whenever there's a line of nasty thunderstorms, but technically below that severe criteria with the wind speeds lower than 60 miles per hour, but still packing a punch tonight. So let's take you back into Flagler County. This is where we have some of the nastiest stuff. Flagler Beach to Beverly Beach to DuPont, Bunnell. That's what we're watching right now for the strongest of the thunderstorms sliding through. The darker purples that you see, that's where we could have some small hail mixing in. Certainly the winds are gusty. The rain is torrential, just about 30-ish more minutes. And then the worst of this is going to be pushing back out over to the Atlantic. I want to pull this back out now and give you a wider view. We have a couple of rogue downpours out closer to Mims in Titusville right now, but the strongest stuff is going to be back off towards our west. You can track these storms right alongside me tonight by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You can have your location, and of course, if any more warnings are issued, you will get them right to your phone. Again, that service is free, but we're going to be watching that line for the next couple of hours. Pinpointing that for you as we move into that 5 o'clock hour. I think Future Radar is doing a nice job tonight. Might be lagging about an hour behind, but you see this pushing south and east of I-4 as we close into that 5 to 6 o'clock hour, and then by 6 to 7 o'clock, most of this will be getting ready to exit. I'll still be watching for the potential around Kenansville, into Yeehaw Junction, Micco, Palm Bay, and Rockledge for the opportunity for a few rowdy thunderstorms as we close out the evening. Then it's going to be the cold's turn to take over. So right now we are nice and warm where it hasn't rained heavily. We're in the mid-70s in Orlando, 85 in Holopaw, Palm Bay. Good evening. We are hanging around 80 degrees tonight. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
So those storms that we're tracking out there, those are being triggered by a strong cold front. This is no joke what you're waking up to tomorrow morning. We have some 30s on the map. Denellen, we're going to be at 39 tomorrow morning. Orlando at 49. Oviedo, 47 degrees. We're hanging in the mid-40s in New Smyrna Beach, Palm Coast. We are back to around 40 as well. High temperatures tomorrow are going to struggle mightily as we dry things back out. We're going to be most of the afternoon anyway, into the 50s, and we are going to keep that breeze rolling as well. Again, as the rainfall starts to pile up, it's certainly helping the drought a little bit, but nonetheless, we want to get there without dealing with any of the severe weather that could be potentially damaging for the next couple of hours. So as we move into tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day, again, it's going to be on the chilly side, back to the upper 60s on Wednesday, gradually pulling back out of the chill as we move into Thursday. The first day of spring is on Friday. We're going to keep temperatures below normal into the mid 70s. And then over the weekend, it's going to be feeling more like it should, sunshine dominant. Temperatures jumping back into the low to mid 80s. Going to have the latest for you on that warning in Flagler County when we talk again in about 10 minutes.
All right, Jonathan, thanks for keeping us on track. And of course, we are staying on top of that breaking news we brought you just a few minutes ago. Investigators searching a lake in Orange County.
Yeah, we now know what's behind that search. We're going to have an update next.
Well, we are following breaking news right now. We're learning what is behind a big search at a lake in Orange County.
It's happening near Lake Jessamine, right near South Orange Avenue, near Holden Avenue. That's not far from 441. So we want to get right to your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell. Troy, what can you tell us?
Yeah, right now we're at Cypress Grove Park. We've come closer to the water this time. And if you take a look behind me, you can actually see one of those boats out there. We've seen several boats from the Orange County Sheriff's Office just circling this area. And again, what we have now confirmed is the Orange County Sheriff's Office says just after 1 o'clock this afternoon, they were called out here to Lake Jessamine. Investigators say there was a group of 4 teens. They were on a canoe in the lake when it capsized. Investigators say 3 of those teens were recovered from the water, but they believe a 4th teen went under the water. Both OCFR and the Orange County Sheriff's Office say that the search is currently underway right now in Lake Jessamine for that 4th teen after that canoe capsized this afternoon. The canoe originally having 4 teens on the canoe. One of the teens still searching for. We've seen several boats again circle this area. We've also saw recently, a group of people show up to Cypress Grove Park appearing to be visibly upset. So again, we're still waiting on an update for the investigation. They have also, in the meantime, closed off Cypress Grove Park, and they're turning away members of the public as they're going, and they do have caution tape towards the shore towards one point. So we're going to continue to be here, and we're waiting for an update from Fire Rescue, and of course, we'll keep you updated on their search. Live in Orange County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Troy, important update. We just want to reiterate that investigators have rescued 3 teens and they are searching for a 4th teen. Obviously, if any more new details come into our newsroom, we'll be sure to keep you apprised. So the president is pressuring other countries to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
They're going to have his push to get the world's oil shipments moving again. That's coming up. Plus, another Central Florida city taking a closer look at stricter rules for e-bikes. What's driving that push and what the new rules could mean for you? That's next.
Thanks for sticking with us. As we've been telling you, it's a weather alert day. Here is a live look at I-4 near mile marker 121.4.
Yeah, just a nasty picture out there. You know, visibility, of course, is impacted. Slick roads. We're talking about this line of storms moving through. Meteorologist Jonathan Keg is joining us. Of course, this is on the heels of spring break, Jonathan. A lot of folks booked their trip weeks, months before they knew this was happening. So time all this out for us and talk about those impacts.
Yeah, it is the season as we continue to get these late season cold fronts pushing through. A real nasty cell. No warning on this one. I would not be surprised if we do get a severe thunderstorm warning for Volusia. Regardless, though, I'm watching this closely for you guys, especially in and around Lake Helen. That's close to the mile marker that we took a look at there on I-4, where you see the purple there. That is blinding rain moving into Cassadaga, Lake Helen, Lake Pearl Drive. Early heads up again. It's already raining heavily. It's about to get heavier. There's likely some small hail involved in all of this as well. As we take a look again across Central Florida, we're going to use the Melbourne radar today to get the best view of this. Captain Drive, very heavy rainfall sliding through. So again, I would not be surprised if in a few minutes, if you have the free News 6 weather app, and I would highly recommend that on a day like today and any day for the forecast to download that. That is a free download, of course, and you can submit your pictures if you have any of the stormy weather. When, of course, you can do so safely. Sanford, Lake Mary, Midway Park, hope you're doing well tonight. You can maybe hear some bells and whistles. We will see if they do issue that warning momentarily. If they do have that warning, it will pop up yellow there on the maps. We'll continue to check in on that. I want to give you, though, the heads up. Altamont Springs, Winter Park, Orlando, Ocoee. We don't have anything in there just yet. The skies are very, very dark, though, if you look to your east. Be on the lookout for some damaging wind gusts potentially. And then there is that yellow box. So there is that severe thunderstorm warning just issued by the National Weather Service. And again, it's going to be for this area here, likely for some pretty decent sized hail. So that's going to be an early heads up into Samsula, Port Orange, Ponce Inlet, Islesboro, New Smyrna Beach. We are all under the gun for that as this thing works its way from the southwest back to the northeast. So again, early heads up, some large hail potential for damaging wind gust. This warning, by the way, is going to roll through. Let me stop this for you and give the latest on the warning itself as it slides through. That's likely going to go until just after 5 o'clock. I'm going to get the latest on that warning and do some dissecting. We're going to talk in just a few minutes. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Jonathan, thank you so much. Well, we're learning more about what led to Edgewater Police issuing a community alert last night. Police were called out to a house along East Yelka Terrace after reports of a shooting. Officers say Christopher Merritt is the estranged uncle of the shooting victim's girlfriend and does not have an active relationship with them. According to the arrest report, Merritt was inside the house and shot the victim when they came home. The victim was badly hurt and is being treated in the hospital. Merritt is facing multiple charges, including aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
All right, let's get to some international news right now. The U.S. is looking for help in defeating an Iranian blockade of a critical shipping channel for oil tankers. Erica Brown has the very latest from Capitol Hill.
President Trump is pushing other countries to assist the U.S. in reopening the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passageway for roughly a fifth of the world's crude oil supply.
We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. We get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait.
Iranian attacks on oil tankers in the narrow waterway have created a blockade that's disrupting global exports and raising energy costs worldwide. Some allies have already dismissed the president's call for help.
Let me be clear. That won't be, and it's never been envisaged to be, a NATO mission.
President Trump has warned NATO could face consequences if allies refuse to help reopen the strait, and he's urging other countries like China to get involved, threatening to postpone an upcoming meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
There's a possibility the trip could be delayed. We'll keep you posted on that, but these are leader-to-leader conversations that are happening, so as soon as we have an update, we'll provide the new dates.
As Operation Epic Fury enters a third full week, the Pentagon says the U.S. military has launched more than 6,000 strikes focused on military targets in Iran.
These are well-defined and include eliminating Iran's ballistic missiles, drones, and naval threats. It's one thing to defend by striking launchers and intercepting missiles and drones, but it's another thing to eliminate the wider manufacturing apparatus behind them. And we are doing that today.
Iran continues to attack U.S. allies and partners in the region with drone and missile strikes, including an attack on the airport in Dubai over the weekend. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
All right, Erica, thank you. I want to bring your focus closer to home. We are working to learn more details about a shooting. This was right outside of a Sanford barbershop. We know so far 2 people are recovering this afternoon. This happened near a busy shopping area off Orlando Drive on Saturday, just steps from a Walmart. Witnesses say it appeared to be some sort of fight, and the 2 men were struggling over a gun.
When I was sitting in the back, I heard pow, and then it stopped for like 3 seconds, then I heard another pow. And then it stopped for like a full minute because they was up here tussling.
Now, when officers arrived, they say they found one person hurt. He went to a hospital. Investigators also clarified a second person later showed up at a different hospital, but also from injuries with the shooting. They say both men knew each other and each are expected to be okay, but of course that shooting remains under investigation. We're also working to learn more about what started a boat fire in New Smyrna Beach. Take a look at this, unfolding yesterday morning. That 30-foot boat was engulfed in flames when crews showed up, and thankfully they say they were able to use a phone line to put all of this out before it spread to any surrounding boats. One person did have to go to a hospital. They had minor injuries. Right now, the cause of this fire is under investigation.
Well, in just a few hours, another Central Florida community is taking a closer look at adding restrictions for e-bikes. If you've ever been to the downtown DeLand area, you know bikes and skateboards, they're already prohibited on sidewalks. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez shows us what the city is considering when it comes to e-bikes.
Downtown DeLand is a place many go to enjoy a bite to eat or hang out with friends.
Come today afternoon, you're going to see all the streets packed with people.
At Tony's New York Pizza, the owner tells me even when the sidewalks are full, he sees e-bikes zip by, taking up a lot of the pedestrian pathway.
In street cars, some going crazy. Customers eating outside, old people walking, especially with little kids, you know. I never hear nothing, just psh.
Last month, the police department asked city leaders to prohibit e-bikes on downtown sidewalks. And it wouldn't be a big change from what's already on the books here in the city because skateboards, bicycles, and scooters are already prohibited on sidewalks in downtown. So the commission will be considering clarifying if e-bikes will be included in that list. Not only do some think they raise a lot of safety concerns, some of the owners in town think they're also a nuisance for customers who sit outside.
Thank God I got a wide sidewalk and it's a little bit easy for me. But other places it's danger. Very, very, very hard to doing business.
Reporting in DeLand, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Well, if you're interested, tonight's city commission meeting for DeLand starts at 7. Meantime, a new bill slowing down e-bikes across the state, that's heading to the governor's desk. The bill includes a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit on sidewalks and other paths if pedestrians are nearby. Violators could face $30 fines. The bill also sets up an e-bike safety task force looking into what other rules are needed. State lawmakers passed the bill last week. Now it just needs the governor's signature. If the bill becomes law, it goes into effect on July 1st.
Well, a major setback for homeowners fighting a new development near their neighborhood. Leaders have approved that preliminary plan to build hundreds of homes on the golf course. For years, developers, they've been trying to put houses on the old Tomoka Oaks golf course, which has been closed since 2018. This is right off US 1 and Nova Road. It's near Granada Boulevard on Ormond Beach. The first vote happened Friday night after more than 3 hours of debate. Commissioners voting 4-1 in favor of this request. This will be to build more than 250 homes on the course. It's something neighbors, they've been speaking out against for weeks because of traffic and safety concerns.
The builders keep asking for too many homes. 500 additional homes going in and out of this neighborhood. My kids play in the streets. I can't imagine them riding around the neighborhood and not getting hit by a car.
It's going to be tough for all of us. It's going to be dangerous.
So there will be another public hearing later this month on that topic. That's where leaders could take a second vote on that development. Neighbors say they, of course, plan to show up to that meeting, too. All right, still ahead, Florida has made hundreds of millions of dollars selling your driver information.
Yeah, a bill to stop that from happening has died in Tallahassee. What you need to know coming up.
Is Cocoa getting any closer to building Brevard County's first Bright Line station? I'll tell you why the city says it could secure the money it needs within months.
Super heavy rain and gusty winds sliding through right now at Daytona Beach and at Port Orange. Severe thunderstorm warning rolls for us until 5 o'clock in the evening. This also includes us in New Smyrna Beach and Ponce Inlet. We're going to have much more on this storm and the widespread storms that extend back down I-4 coming up in about 10 minutes.
And before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in depth as we answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. You can search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're keeping a close eye on the roads on this weather alert day.
All right, let's check back in with our traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve Montiero. He's been moving. Steve, covering a lot of ground. Last check, I think we saw you on the 429 near Winter Garden. Where are you right now? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so right now, earlier, I was checked up in Mount Dora, so I did swing through the Mount Dora area. Now, you're right, Lauren, I am southbound 429, approaching the Florida Turnpike, Winter Garden, Ocoee area. And just like meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, the biggest thing to be concerned about on the roads right now are probably the winds. It is kicking up pretty good. So right now we're doing 60 miles an hour, posted 70 zone, which is perfect. And that's what we should be doing. Too fast for conditions does exist. We got to remember our speed limits were designed for like a beautiful sunshine, right? Obviously, that's not what we have right now. That semi-truck left lane, probably not setting the best example, doing well over the posted speed limit. So while we're, man, see, like right there, the wind gust coming out here this morning, see, I'm used to working the morning shift. This afternoon, if you're out here, it's probably the big thing, results one being a high-profile vehicle, something we need to be cautious of. Other trucks and stuff out here on the road as well. I did see a few vehicles pulled over on the shoulder with their hazard lights on. If that's what you're going to do, my biggest recommendation, guys, please exit the highway. We don't want you out on the roadway, especially if you're going to be stopped on the shoulder. If you're capable of driving, just go ahead and exit. I'm going to keep on tracking the storm with you guys for now, live inside Results One. Back to you guys.
Steve, thank you so much. This is why we love having a traffic safety expert with us. As you can see, just a really slick drive. If you are one of those folks that likes to ride people's bumpers, or you like to, not increase that following distance, this is not the day. We got a live view of downtown Orlando, those clouds moving in, a lot happening on the radar. So Jonathan Kagas is joining us again. You've been watching this very closely. What is happening exactly? How does it affect all of us?
Yeah, so we're watching the strong line of thunderstorms, and right now we are still having one active warning. Believe it or not, there's no warning where Steve is. It's just Sel. I'll show you where he was in just 1 second. But I'm still most concerned right now about this severe thunderstorm warning in Volusia County. This is going to roll for about the next 14 minutes into New Smyrna Beach, Ponce Inlet. Heads up, if you do happen to be on the beach or know anybody on the beach, again, there's lightning striking all over the place here. So I want to make sure you're hightailing it in. And again, in just a few minutes, you are going to get a very strong thunderstorm, gusty winds, torrential rain, and a whole lot of lightning. So we're going to zoom back out, and we're going to show you exactly where Trooper Steve was. Again, in and around Sanford and Lake Mary, that rain is coming down pretty hard. And then back down on the way to Winter Garden through Apopka into West Orange County. It is coming down. We showed you that live look from downtown Orlando just a second ago, and this is the cell that we are looking at here. So again, I'll put the loop on here for you to show the progression of this storm working in. All this is kind of moving from the south and west back to the north and east, so it may end up just clipping the west side of the Orlando metro area, but that's going to be an early heads up in Altamont Springs. Again, a lot of heavy rain, gusty winds, potentially an isolated damaging wind gusts in there. Same for us in Lockhart, Pine Hills, and Orla Vista as that rolls through West Orange County. We'll take you further back off towards the south and west into Polk County. We have a couple of these cells trying to bubble back up, but all of this kind of moving from the southwest into the northeast over the next couple of hours. So we're going to be watching this until about 8, 9 o'clock tonight before you can finally say goodbye to this. And again, you can track these storms alongside me tonight and also submit your photos by downloading the free News 6 Weather app when you can do so safely. Don't go out in the middle of the storm and take any pictures or video like that. But again, I'd love to see your photos of the storm itself as it slides on through when you can do so safely. And of course, any warnings you're going to get right to your phone for free. 5, 6 o'clock for the rest of this evening. I think future radar hitting the nail on the head might be an hour too late. I think all this stuff that you're seeing in Lake County should be about on I-4 right now. And then as we get towards that 6 to 7 o'clock hour, this is going to push back out in southeast of I-4, and then just a lingering downpour or thunderstorm as we move into parts of southern Osceola and into Brevard County by about 8 to 9 o'clock this evening. So again, we're going to get rid of that, and then once these storms pass by, gigantic cool down coming down the pipeline. We have air temperatures today where it's been raining now, falling back into the mid-60s. This is not from the front just yet. This is all rain-cooled air, 78 degrees in Mount Dora. We're at 85 still in Holopop. That will change, though, big time as that line of storms comes through. For that, here's a look at your forecast. Temperature is going to fall tonight behind the front, and it's going to be a much colder morning than we've been accustomed to for the last couple of weeks. 40s, some of us even flirting with the upper 30s in the Villages, Wildwood, Denellen. We're hanging around 40 in Ocala, 49 in Orlando, a touch warmer, if you will, along the Space Coast, as we've been able to warm up the Atlantic with some of the big-time warmth that we've had over the past couple of weeks. Highs tomorrow hanging around 60 degrees, with rain chances falling back down to 0. We're going to really quiet things down, but keep things chilly over the next couple of days. So there you go on Wednesday. We're hanging around 70, lower 70s on Thursday, back to the mid-70s on the first full day of spring, 80 on Saturday. So the chill does not last long, guys, and we are much quieter after we get through these next couple of hours of your Monday evening.
After years of planning, the city of Cocoa tells me the money it needs to build Brevard County's first Brightline station, which would be right here at US 1 in the 528, could finally be secured within months. I'm your Cocoa community correspondent, James Sparvero. A Brightline stop close to Port Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center has made a lot of sense to people, but Cocoa was hoping the feds would have approved about $50 million in grants the city requested already. So how much longer? Do you know yet until you may hear you get approved?
We're hoping this summer.
I first asked Communications Director Sam Sanger about this project in 2024. Then administrations changed in Washington, and she says the city had to reapply to get that largest chunk of what it will cost to build a new train station. In total, Sam told me the station could cost as much as $90 million now.
We have already started the preliminary design of the station and the surrounding properties.
Like how riders will get here. Sam told me the entrances to the station actually won't be off of US 1. They'll be off of Clear Lake Road, that's where the Walmart is, and Michigan Avenue. That's the closest crossing to the site. Also new since my last update, North Cocoa has new apartment buildings that are so close to the site, future riders like Barbara Trevelli could walk to her train. So you probably want to see this built as fast as possible.
Oh, it would be nice. I've always wanted to go to Miami. I thought about going to the Orlando station, but then that's backtracking.
So if funding can be secured this summer and construction starts, the city says the new station could open in 2029. We'll continue to keep you updated every step of the way. In Brevard County, I'm your Cocoa community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
James Sparvero, thank you so much. The state is selling your driver data for cash.
Wait till you hear this. It's been happening for years, too, and a bill to stop it has died without a single hearing. We'll tell you what's in that data and who can buy it. The warning you are going to want to hear up next. You are watching News 6. Here's another live look at I-4 near Port Orange. Slick roads, heavy winds certainly affecting your commute. We'll be right back.
Driver data being sold. I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton. If you're wondering, what does driver data include? It's things like on your ID. That includes your name, your address, even your birth date that state representatives are saying are being sold by the state to some third parties for money. Your data for sale.
That's horrible. It's like, no, that's my privacy, my information should be for me only.
But it's not. Some state officials say for the last 15 years, Florida has raked in almost $500 million selling your information to the highest bidder. What do you think about just hearing that the state can sell driver's license information?
That's pretty surprising. That's actually quite scary. Like, why are they able to sell our information, and who needs it?
I think it's horrible for the people because it's not fair that the information that we have is leaked like that. It's disgraceful to me.
Recently, a bill that would have limited Florida's data sharing on things like names, addresses, driver's license numbers, crash history, organ donor statuses died without lawmakers even giving it a hearing.
I would like to be told, yes, absolutely. I mean, it seems like an invasion, almost.
Do you hope that they talk about it at some point in the future about stopping that?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I don't want my information everywhere, you know? It's like, it's not fair.
And as of right now, it's unclear when this bill will be brought back up again by lawmakers. But those drivers, they tell us hopefully restrictions are made soon. Reporting for News 6, I'm Tylisa Hampton.
Very informative. All right, Tylisa, thank you. News 6 at 5 is up next.
Anchor Ginger Gaston is in the newsroom with what's ahead. Ginger?
All right, guys, we are tracking stormy weather moving across central Florida right now. An update from meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is just moments away. And the weather here and all across the country causing delays and cancellations at MCO. We will take you there live. And we're following breaking news tonight. The search for a missing teen after his canoe capsized. A live update from the scene is just minutes away. And your forecast also just minutes away. Here's a live look now as Trooper Steve drives around town in Results 1, bringing us the latest conditions on the road. Right now, he's on the Turnpike near the 408. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts for free anytime on News 6 Plus. Now at 5, spring break delays at MCO.
We went through 3 delays and then it was finally canceled.
How weather and a partial government shutdown are stopping planes from getting off the ground. Plus, take over Daytona, how a planned event to swarm beaches closed down businesses as the police department looks into several shootings over the spring break weekend. And
another restaurant chain closing in Florida. We're looking into what's next for Bahama Breeze.
You're watching News 6 at 5. And we start at 5 with a look at the roads out there across Central Florida on this weather alert day.
So you are looking at I-4 right now in the Deltona DeLand area. We're showing you these slick commutes, friends who like to tailgate. This is not the day to do it. Let's waste no time bringing in meteorologist Jonathan Kegas.
All right, Jonathan, storms all across Central Florida tonight.
Yeah, the good news is we're getting rid of the most intense cell that we have this evening. That is exiting off of the Volusia coast as we speak. Still some strong thunderstorms. See all these boxes on your screen, this light yellow color, almost pollen-like. That is where we have special weather statements, as the National Weather Service calls them. So they are just below severe levels tonight. So we're talking wind gusts 45 to 55 miles per hour as these kind of work on through. I'll put a pause on the loop here. We're going to take you a little bit closer where we had the severe thunderstorm warning that has now been allowed to expire because this mess is now off the Volusia coast. The last little bit of rain associated with that cell getting ready to push through Bethune Beach, but now below severe limits. It's still going to be gusty as torrential rain, lots of lightning sliding through. The next area that I'm watching for the heaviest thunderstorms, we gave you that early heads up about 15 minutes ago in Altamont Springs, Winter Springs, and Maitland. Now we are, that's right on top of us with the heavy rain, lightning, some gusty winds again. Nothing severe in there, nothing damaging, but it certainly looks a little wild out there, no doubt, as those winds are very strong within these thunderstorms. Taking you further down I-4 tonight, and on the Kissimmee side of things, we're watching just a couple of cells pop back up into Haines City, Davenport, and then back toward Kissimmee. These are all kind of pushing back off towards the west. Again, watching the Orlando International Airport closely for another potential ground stop. Again, as we were watching those storms fly on by, it's going to be this mess coming out of the Four Corners that's going to be heading towards downtown Orlando metro area, at least the northern side of that. We're going to talk much more about the chill that arrives behind these storms. It is going to be considerably colder than where we've been. We'll break that part of your forecast down coming up at about 5:17, guys.
It is a big old mess out there,
Big
Jonathan.
mess.
Thank you. All right, we want to take you out to the roads right now where we're getting a live look at all this wet weather.
Talk about another mess. That's where we find News 6's Trooper Steve. Steve, what are you seeing out there right now? You've been covering a lot of ground for us.
I tell you guys, it's amazing. Right now, I'm on the Florida Turnpike. We're now northbound approaching 429, and I'm doing 22 miles an hour. And that with rain, mix that with some of the people that Lauren has been calling out, the tailgaters, it's rather interesting out here. And people are still like dive bombing into travel lanes. So that's the biggest contributor, is people do not change their normal driving behavior when this happens. And then we wonder why we get into crashes. There are a few crashes already on the Florida Turnpike, none blocking any lanes. So please, let's make sure we're paying attention. I'll keep on the roads, keep you guys informed. Back to you guys.
All right, Steve, thank you. Breaking right now at 5, in just the last hour, Orange County deputies told us a canoe capsized this morning on Lake Jasmine.
So deputies say 4 teens were on this boat. They were rescued, but 1 is still missing. I want to get you back to that area. This is the lake near South Orange at Holden Avenues. We want to talk to your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell. Troy, you've been moving around that area, trying to get close to the water. Where are you now? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so we're at Cypress Grove Park. We're right by the water. And if you take a look behind me, we've been watching Orange County Sheriff's Office. They have their rescue boats on the lake. They tell us they are searching for a teen in the water. The Orange County Sheriff's Office has confirmed that just after 1 o'clock this afternoon, they were called out here to the lake. Now, investigators say there was a group of 4 teens on a canoe in the lake when it capsized. Now, investigators say, thankfully, 3 of those teens were safely rescued from the water. But they believe a 4th teen went under the water and was unaccounted for. So both Orange County Fire Rescue and the Orange County Sheriff's Office say the search is currently underway here for that 4th teen. We've seen several boats circle in this area. We've also seen a group of people show up to Cypress Grove Park that appear to be visibly upset and consoling each other. So, of course, as this search continues, we will remain in place as we await an update from investigators. But again, them confirming there were 4 teens on a canoe. The canoe capsized. 3 teens are okay. 1 of the teens they are still searching for on the lake at this hour. Live in Orange County, Troy Campbell, News 6, back to you.
All right, certainly devastating news, at least right now, Troy. We're hoping for the best. All right, let's take a live look now at Orlando International Airport. On this first week of spring break, we are already seeing a lot of delays.
A lot of people shaking their heads thinking, man, I knew I should have went with the other spot. With the weather rolling in, of course, those delays just continue. We've been out there for you all day getting the latest updates. We've been talking to travelers.
Yeah, we sure have. And that's where we find your community correspondent, Jana Manahalal. And Jana, you've been speaking with passengers dealing with all that red we've been seeing on the board today.
That's right, guys. If you were to look at the main terminal of MCO, it is pretty much like a normal Monday. But again, as soon as you look at what we call the big board, it is all red. You've seen delay after delay after delay, which eventually is turning into those cancellations. And we've talked to multiple families who have basically, in simple terms, been left with no answers.
First Southwest, then JetBlue, and now back to Southwest.
What did Southwest tell you when they first canceled it?
They just said best of luck. So, but they gave us credit, which we didn't really want. But
red flight statuses are covering the flight tracker board here at the Orlando International Airport. You have a third flight, a third attempt at 8 p.m. tonight.
Yep. Hoping for the best. I'm nervous.
Yeah. Meaning delays are quickly turning into cancellations.
We were scheduled on Frontier this morning to fly out today at 2. We went through 3 delays and then it was finally canceled. And so I was able to book a flight with United. They delayed us once and then canceled.
I was able to book on Southwest through Birmingham. We're trying to get to Denver.
Okay.
So far, it's still showing on time. That goes out 10 tonight with a 7-hour layover in Birmingham. We're supposed to get in tomorrow in Denver at like 7:30.
A viewer shared with us this email they received from Delta for their flight tomorrow on Tuesday with suggestions about next steps. Many were left waiting with no backup plan and are now stuck waiting at least a day for a new flight.
They can't get us on anything today, tomorrow. And the best they could do is Wednesday night.
Oh my God.
So we don't really have
a plan, a backup, anything.
No.
And with the skies shut down, some are taking to the road. Now the plan is to take a charter bus all the way back to
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
How long is that bus ride?
I think they said it's going to be around like 20 hours.
We returned our car yesterday, and now I tried to get another one through Avis. They had no cars left. So now we got one through Hertz, I think.
Despite the MCO ground stop that happened last night due to thunderstorms and the countless delays and cancellations people are experiencing today, people seem to be in a relatively good mood.
We decided before we even got here today that we're just going to totally be chill. That no matter what we thought, no matter how we behaved, it wasn't going to change the situation.
Honestly, I think that guy has the right attitude moving forward in any type of case scenario at the airport. But just today, FlightAware.com, the live update website, has shown us a total cancellation rate of 374 just at the Orlando International Airport and 486 delays. That's a lot of cancellations and delays for any normal Monday. I'm going to take a step to the side. You can look at the wait times here at TSA. They have gone up just a little bit to 11 to 15 minutes. Earlier, we were looking at, Disney and Universal kind of wait times, if I'm not going to lie. But, we're keeping an eye on everything here, guys. But for now, live at MCO, I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
Yeah, they call it the FlightAware misery map for good reason, Jana. Thank you so much. 8 minutes past the hour, the first weekend of spring break in Daytona Beach was met by chaos, according to local officials who say it was a pop-up event on the beach that brought some unruly crowds. And look at all that. Police now say they are investigating 4 separate shootings on Saturday alone. Your Volusia County community correspondent, Molly Reed, looking into how the city handled it and could it have been done better?
The Volusia County Sheriff tells us that just on the sand on the beach alone this weekend, they arrested 133 people. He says this unpermitted, unsanctioned event that popped up and brought thousands started on the beach and then spilled into the city.
You have an unsanctioned event run by social media. My estimate is probably somewhere close to 9,000 people, maybe even 10,000 people.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says it was a rowdy crowd on the beach. They arrested several with guns, but he says there were no shootings on the sand.
Our job is law enforcement on the beach. So that is county jurisdiction. That is my jurisdiction. Once they leave and go up on the blacktop, they're in the city limits.
But when the crowds got to land, it was more chaotic. This video shows one of 4 shootings Daytona Beach police are investigating from Saturday night. This one on Main Street. There was also a shooting on Seabreeze Boulevard beachside and 2 shootings mainland in the city. The sheriff says law enforcement was aware this pop-up event was likely coming, and the city could have asked them for a special event zone.
The reason it wasn't declared is they didn't want it last weekend. Because I can declare a special event zone, but if they're not going to enforce it, you're sending a message, hey, they're not enforcing it.
A county sheriff can declare a zone for unsanctioned events. It brings in more law enforcement resources and increases penalties against those who break the law in them. City Commissioner Stacy Cantu wonders why the city manager did not ask commissioners for this.
Usually if something is going on, we get an email blast letting us know that this event's going on, this is happening. We received no communication whatsoever.
The sheriff hopes that the city will put in a special event zone for this upcoming weekend. We reached out to the Daytona Beach Police Department to see if the chief would talk to us today. They said he is not doing interviews. We also reached out to the city manager to see if he had a comment, but did not get a response. I'm your Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
We are tracking potential thunderstorms and definitely some rain across our area.
But we can do you one better and give you a live report of what we're seeing out there today as we bring you a current look at those roads with Trooper Steve. Next at 5, Steve's going to bring us real-time updates on road conditions all across Central Florida. That's right after this break.
All right, welcome back. You know this is a weather alert day. We don't have to tell you that. We've been seeing meteorologist Jonathan Kegas all day warning us about the conditions out there.
We're talking spring break. We're talking damaging winds. We got a line of thunderstorms coming in. He is here to track it all out for us, time it.
Bells and whistles still going off.
Yeah, in real time, Jonathan.
Yeah, watching some nasty stuff. The good news is there is a weakening trend on the whole line itself for sure. We do have those scattered downpours in the mix, certainly some gusty winds as we move forward. We have scattered thunderstorms now pushing back into Kissimmee. Kissimmee, into Dr. Phillips, Orlando, Altamont Springs. We have that download. Download the free News 6 weather app. Again, that will help you. I'm just going to turn the buzzer off here in just 1 second. We have a couple of scattered thunderstorms in the mix. That is likely the cancellation of the tornado watch for us in Sumter County. I don't see anything too terribly concerning, at least at this juncture right here, as they're working towards Four Corners into Kissimmee. But where we haven't really had the strong thunderstorms today is in this area. So I'm going to be watching these guys closely, coming out of the Four Corners, out of the Davenport area towards Kissimmee, Point Siena, eventually into Celebration as well, and then into St. Cloud, because we have more of that untapped or unworked atmosphere, so more of that fuel for those storms to work with. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that for the next couple of hours, because that is where those storms could be on the stronger side. So here we go as we move towards 6, 7 o'clock, and that is exactly where the storms keep firing up. That's 7 to 8 o'clock in your evening. And I think once we get towards 9 to 10, that's when we will see the opportunity for these things to really wind down and for everybody to quiet down. And then the chill settles in. Look at this if you're not taking a look at your TV screen right now. This is a cold front. We're at 71 in Orlando. Look at Atlanta. They're in the 30s. Nashville's in the mid-30s. All of this colder air is getting ready to blast through again behind the cold front developing or really firing up those storms that we have out there right now. And this is what we wake up to tomorrow morning. We were just at 90 degrees a couple days ago. Now we're at 46 when you wake up in Sanford tomorrow. 39 degrees in Denellen, 40 in Ocala. We're back to 50 in Holopot, Melbourne. We'll start our day tomorrow at 52, just a touch warmer. The relatively warmer Atlantic helping to influence our temperatures just a little bit. Mount Dora, high temperatures tomorrow, hanging around 60 degrees. You see the average this time of the year, we're pushing 80. We're going to be about 20-ish degrees below that tomorrow. Rain chances back to 0%, and I think once we clear this line of thunderstorms late this evening, the next 7 days look like they are going to be on the drier side. 7-day forecast for you again, getting into St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. On the chilly side, highs will struggle to get out of the 50s for most of the day. Note we're going to keep things rather chilly through Wednesday. 47 degrees in Orlando, even colder northwest. I think Wednesday morning is likely going to be the colder morning of the bunch. High temperatures on Thursday. Try to get back out of the 60s. You see spring the first day of that as we move into the Friday, during the day on Friday. High temperatures back to the mid-70s, and then we're right around 80 degrees on Saturday, back to the lower 80s on Sunday as we get dominant sunshine back. But again, for the next couple of hours, we're watching for the potential for some stronger thunderstorms, especially south and east of I-4, guys.
All right, I think I spotted that front on your map, Jonathan.
Good.
All right, we want to take you out to the roads once again, where we're getting a live look at all this wet weather.
All right, so that's where we find News 6's Trooper Steve. Steve, where are you at this hour? What are you seeing as the rain comes down?
So it just cleared out of the northern portions of the west side out here, and I'm trying to get turned around. There's a pretty nasty crash that just happened a little while ago. It's going to be southbound 429 right around the 30. If you guys back at base want to grab a DOT cam at that at some point, but traffic is going to be affected by that, and I could tell just by looking at it. It was caused simply by wet roadways and people underestimating how to take these ramps. We talked about that with Trooper Steve on patrol today. A lot of people would say, well, that's so basic, Steve. Why would you waste time talking about it? Well, it's because we have crashes. So listen, if you're out here, part of the thing is don't look at the car directly in front of you. I try to tell people all the time, look 3, 4 cars out. Start to anticipate the slowdown a little bit so you don't lose those tires and those tractions and things like that. No cruise control, please. And for goodness, these turning signals, I understand that we have struggles learning where they're at. Left side of the steering wheel, indicate when you're coming in. I know it sounds simple, but in this rain, it's the simple stuff that's going to end up helping us out. I'm going to swing around here on 429, try to see what's going on with this crash. There was a vehicle faced the opposite direction out there. Again, southbound 429 at the 30 for now. I'm live inside of Results One. I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks do feel like those traffic signals, those turn signals are optional.
They're
are
not. No.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. Hey, another popular restaurant officially closing its doors.
Workers at the Bahama Breeze in Altamont finding out this weekend they had worked their last shifts. Coming up, we're hearing from some of the workers who lost their jobs as employees met for the last time.
And here's a quick live look before we let you go at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Those ominous clouds. We'll talk about forecast details with Jonathan Kekis right after this.
We are staying on top of the weather on this weather alert day. This is our live radar now. A lot of rain across most of central Florida. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is staying with us and on top of everything you need to know. We're going to check in with Jonathan again in just a few minutes. First, though, cutting back and closing doors. It's the end of an era for Bahama Breeze.
So earlier this year, we learned that Dayton would be shutting down most locations and converting the rest into other Dayton brands. Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver is in Sanford, where employees learned this week and they worked their last few shifts.
The sign has already come down and changes are being made at this Bahama Breeze on Reinhardt Road. Monday morning, employees gathered in the parking lot after meeting for the last time.
Oh yeah, everybody's in there crying. Because a lot of people have been here for years. It's like their second home.
We met Teresa as she was walking out.
Did you know that they were closing this weekend?
No. No, we were told April 5th.
Earlier this year, Dayton announced they would be closing locations, including this one here in Sanford, because they were no longer a strategic priority. This location in Altamont is one of the restaurants that the company says will be converted into other Dayton brands, along with 4 other Bahama Breeze restaurants in Orlando.
We have options to go to other Dayton concepts, and that will be okay.
Is that something you'll consider?
Oh yeah, Dayton's a great company to work for.
It's not the only company navigating a changing landscape. Here at the Seminole Town Center, restaurants like this Red Lobster remain closed. Rising costs and constricting budgets have created challenges for consumers and companies.
The reality is it's very difficult to be a restaurant owner right now. We certainly have seen wage and food inflation of at least 35% since the pandemic. Taxes, insurance, et cetera, everything is really hitting their overall bottom line.
The National Restaurant Association says 42% of restaurants were not profitable last year.
The math is very difficult, and as a result, even though you might have restaurants that have a lot of traffic, those costs might be eating them up in terms of their overall profit margins.
The Bahama Breeze and Hunters Creek closed on Sunday, along with this one here in Sanford. We reached out to Dayton to ask about the impact to local staff in Central Florida. They tell me both management teams, 11 people total, have been placed at other restaurants, and 66% of the hourly staff here in Sanford have been given other opportunities as well. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
Officers say it was a police chase, then an officer's car caught fire.
It all led to a shootout in South Daytona over the weekend. This is according to police. So coming up, what officers are saying about how this unfolded and how the injured officer is doing this afternoon. Plus,
is Cocoa getting any closer to building Brevard County's first Bright Line station? I'm your Cocoa community correspondent, James Sparvero. I'll tell you why the city says it could secure the money it needs within months.
Your Monday evening traffic alert. Storms could delay a lot of the construction, but it didn't last night. So we'll see what happens tonight. Watch out along the northern portions of the Florida Turnpike. We'll see those closures again out in the Montverde area. Now, the construction out on 429 and Schofield, not scheduled to continue, but it could still remain out there. Just want you to be aware, didn't happen over the weekend. And then some lane closures out here, I-4 east and westbound between about the Turnpike, State Road 528, and then the express lanes closed again westbound I-4 right before 434. You won't be able to make it in there. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
and before we let you go, another live look at Daytona Beach, the severe weather impacting a lot of people's plans today. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is going to time out for us who sees the most impacts. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to News 6 at 5.
So we want to waste no time on this weather alert day. Let's get back over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. What are you seeing at this second, Jonathan?
Yeah, guys, we're watching that line of thunderstorms cross now south and east of I-4. So that's where the strongest is. The good news is that there are no warnings up as this line continues to work its way slowly off to the south and west. Everything that's hanging around the villages is nice and tame tonight, so that's the kind of rain that we like. Right around Titusville, where you see that arrow, that's where we start to get the stronger thunderstorms. At least that's the computer giving that indication. We'll take you a little closer in, and this is all kind of moving out of East Orange County. So Bithlo into Christmas, we have the very heavy rain that is still continuing to hang out with us tonight. Putting a timer on this for you again, Mims, we're going to be up in about 15 minutes. It is raining right now in Mims, but the stronger portion of that cell. And then as we get in towards LaGrange and into Titusville in about 15 minutes as well. So just watching that to quickly, that cell begin to move its way through. We'll close out of some of these boxes here that you see on your screen. And we're going to take you a little bit further down to the south. Nice and quiet for us in and around Brevard County at this time. Kissimmee, the good news is that line of storms we were watching coming out of Polk County and extreme southern Sumter, they are also exhibiting a weakening trend. So I am cautiously optimistic now. Now, most of these storms that are pushing in as they move further to the east are going to continue to weaken. Again, a lot of these, especially in Orange County and parts of northern Brevard, running into air that has been worked over a little bit from the early afternoon thunderstorms. We're going to talk much more on the timeline when all of these storms exit. And then when the 30s arrive, for some of us, that's as early as tonight. We're going to break that down for you in that part of the forecast at about 5:47.
My goodness, we need a break.
Crazy.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. All right, we want to take you back out live to the roads right now. We're going to a good look at what's happening out there.
So that's where we find our News 6's Trooper Steve monitoring the impacts of this severe weather on the roadways. Steve, any changes at this hour?
You know, things have kind of calmed down on the west side here. That earlier crash kind of cleared out when it comes to traffic lanes being blocked. But what did not clear was the actual crashed car. If you take a look right here to the right side of your screen, you could see it face the complete opposite way and into the far tree line there. Just single vehicle smashed into the tree line out there. From what I understand, a driver was transported from this scene here, but it looks like no other vehicle was involved. So you can only blame the driver and the weather conditions kind of combined. So we need you to be really careful right out here this morning. I keep saying this morning, guys, I apologize. This afternoon. I'm going to have some of you guys come out here in the evening and come work that morning shift. But for right now, it's just the hot spots are a little hotter than today. No crazy issues. Just need you to drive safely. For now, live in Results 1. Back to you guys.
Steve, we understand. Thank you so much, though. All right, we just got some new body cam of a shooting that happened over the weekend in South Daytona. Police say it was a chase that ended up with a police officer in the hospital after all of this.
Yeah, so this is pretty chaotic. Officers say the chase started on I-95. This is after they got a call that a man shot at another driver. News 6's Talisa Hampton has been digging into what happened and brings us the very latest.
And we know that South Daytona police officer was shot twice. He is recovering in the hospital, is expected to be okay. But this all came after an alleged road rage shooting. A South Daytona police officer is recovering at the hospital after officials say he went to investigate a road rage shooting off Country Lane Sunday morning.
He was shot twice. God was on his side today.
Officials say when Officer Fezden and others responded to the shooting, the suspect, Todd Anthony Martin, led officers on a police chase until he crashed on I-95. Instead of giving up, he tried to run again, this time on foot.
As our officers were in foot pursuit, he spun around and fired multiple rounds at our officers.
When Officer Fezden was shot in the shoulder and leg, he shot back, hitting Martin. Only that didn't stop him from trying to get away for a third time, only in an officer's patrol car.
He did do something electrically and the car caught fire, and he jumped out of the vehicle after several minutes of the vehicle being engulfed in flames.
Martin was arrested while Officer Fezden was taken to the hospital to recover. And we have been told that officer is expected to be okay. As for Martin's condition, we haven't learned about his medical condition. However, we have been told that he was placed under medical custody. Reporting for News 6, I'm Talisa Hampton.
Hey, Lisa, thank you for that story. 5:33 here. No stop for train riders in Brevard County after almost 3 years of Bright Line service between Miami and Orlando. Cities like Cocoa have been calling for a station for years. Your Cocoa community correspondent, James Favero, does have an update on when that highly anticipated station may be built.
After years of planning, the city of Cocoa tells me the money it needs to build Brevard County's first Brightline station, which would be right here at US 1 in the 528, could finally be secured within months. I'm your Cocoa community correspondent, James Sparvero. A Brightline stop close to Port Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center has made a lot of sense to people, but Cocoa was hoping the feds would have approved about $50 million in grants the city requested already. So how much longer? Do you know yet until you may hear you get approved?
We're hoping this summer.
I first asked Communications Director Sam Sanger about this project in 2024. Then administrations changed in Washington, and she says the city had to reapply to get that largest chunk of what it will cost to build a new train station. In total, Sam told me the station could cost as much as $90 million now.
We have already started the preliminary design of the station and the surrounding properties.
Like how riders will get here. Sam told me the entrances to the station actually won't be off of US 1. They'll be off of Clear Lake Road, that's where the Walmart is, and Michigan Avenue. That's the closest crossing to the site. Also new since my last update, North Cocoa has new apartment buildings that are so close to the site, future riders like Barbara Trevelli could walk to her train. So you probably want to see this built as fast as possible.
That would be nice. I've always wanted to go to Miami. I thought about going to the Orlando station, but then that's backtracking.
So if funding can be secured this summer and construction starts, the city says the new station could open in 2029. We'll continue to keep you updated every step of the way. In Brevard County, I'm your Cocoa community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Developing out of the city of Edgewater, police shared body cam video of the moments they arrested a man accused of shooting at another man. This is what prompted police to issue a community alert last night.
Hey, buddy. It's gonna be okay. But here, hey, keep your hands out the window. You're still here. Keep your hands out the window. Listen to me. You do that one more time, you're gonna get shot. Do you understand?
Okay, that's pretty tense. Officers were called out to a house along East Yelka Terrace after reports of a shooting. Officers say Christopher Merritt is the estranged uncle of the shooting victim's girlfriend and does not have an active relationship with them. According to the arrest report, Merritt was in the house and shot the victim when they came home. The victim was badly hurt and is in the hospital right now. Merritt is facing multiple charges, including aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. He is expected to appear in court this afternoon. He is being held on no bond. Well, our trooper Steve usually gives you road tips and lets you know how to stay safe. We've been seeing that happen live all afternoon.
So every so often, though, he meets up with someone to share their unique story. And today on Trooper Steve on Patrol, he talked with Mix 105.1's Jen Lopez about how she ended up on the radio.
I didn't know that I wanted to do that growing up. It's never like I wanted to be on TV. I didn't want to be on the radio. I didn't really know. I wanted to be an elementary school teacher because my second grade teacher, Mrs. Kretzer, really inspired me to be able to connect and speak with the youth. And I was just like, wow, what a gift you have. And so I was like, you know, I really like that.
And that's CJ, guys.
Right
That's who she works with every single morning. And if you guys remember,
and he's one of my best friends. I mean, I've been best friends with him over 10 years, the same as Lewis. I mean,
and then you end up working with him.
Yeah. And so what's funny about that is that he and I used to talk about that. Wouldn't that be crazy if we had a morning show together and then as time would have it?
They say God laughs when you make plans, right? To see that full interview, head to this article on clickorlando.com. You can also hit the road with Trooper Steve on Patrol. That's weekdays, 2:30 in the afternoon, 8:30 at night. Also on News 6 Plus, our streaming apps for your smart TV or clickorlando.com.
Well, President Trump is pushing other countries to assist the U.S. in reopening the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passageway for roughly a fifth of the world's crude oil supply. Iranian attacks on oil tankers in the narrow waterway have created a blockade that's disrupting global exports and raising energy costs worldwide. The president has warned NATO could face consequences if allies refuse to help reopen the strait, and he's urging other countries like China to get involved.
These are well-defined and include eliminating Iran's ballistic missiles, drones, and naval threats. It's one thing to defend by striking launchers and intercepting missiles and drones, but it's another thing to eliminate the wider manufacturing apparatus behind them. And we are doing that today.
As Operation Epic Fury enters a third week, the Pentagon says the U.S. military has launched more than 6,000 strikes focused on military targets in Iran. Iran continues to attack U.S. allies and partners in the region with drone and missile strikes, including an attack on the airport in Dubai over the weekend. Pump prices in Florida shot up 24 cents over the past week. AAA says a gallon of gas in Florida is $3.73 today. That's up from $2.89 on February 28th, when the U.S. and Israel began attacks in Iran. A AAA spokesman says that there is no clear ceiling on how high oil prices could go if geopolitical tensions continue escalating.
Shipments are not being made of crude oil. And so that raises a lot of concern within the oil market, especially when there's no clear indication of when things will restabilize.
The least expensive gas in Florida is in Okaloosa County in the Panhandle. Drivers in Monroe County, which includes the Florida Keys, are now paying more than $4 a gallon.
Our food costs have been soaring.
Yeah, this is the part that makes it tough, because it's not just paying at the pump, but paying at the grocery store too. Meals on Wheels. They say more seniors in Seminole County, they need help putting food on the table. Over the weekend, there was actually a gathering in Altamont Springs to help support that work through the annual March for Meals fundraiser. That's where we find your Seminole County community correspondent Alex Cook with a look at who was there to help and how it went.
Join us today, the caring about the seemingly forgot, the seniors in Seminole County that we support.
Hundreds of people came out to support Meals on Wheels, etc., in its mission of feeding homebound Seminole County seniors. Walkers and runners of all ages circled the lake 3 times, then headed back for brunch served by Top Hat Catering, the organization's own catering operation. The longtime Seminole County organization is best known for delivering meals to seniors, but it also provides check-ins and other support for older adults who may have trouble leaving their homes.
The funds we raise with this event goes directly towards the cost of meals. Over the last 5 or 6 years, especially coming out of COVID with all the inflation, our food costs have been soaring.
McKee says that matters for many seniors living on fixed incomes, where every dollar has to stretch further as food and housing costs rise.
Even in a fairly wealthy county like a Seminole County, they need help. Fixed incomes are what they are. When prices go up and their fixed income stays about the same, that's a problem.
Every donation from the event helps provide 5 meals for a local senior, according to Meals on Wheels, etc.
We want seniors to know they are not forgotten, and we care. And boy, look at all these people here that care today.
I'm your Altamont Springs community correspondent, Alex Cook, News 6.
Okay, love seeing that. And as we talk about how groups are helping with groceries, it got us wondering, could grocery prices see a big jump?
That's a real question we've all got to ask. So if so, what could cause that to happen? And then when could it happen? Coming up after the break, we're going to take a closer look at those answers and why the war in Iran may very well impact your next trip to the store.
And later, the University of Central Florida has officially made the men's basketball tournament. But what can we expect from these guys? News 6's Ryan Welch will have a full breakdown coming up in just about 15 minutes.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Shark Coatings.
Welcome back here. All right, we've been talking about the jump in oil prices. You've seen that over the past few weeks, but what may be next in terms of hurting your wallet?
Yeah, groceries are on that list. Crop fertilizers are caught in the crosshairs of the conflict in Iran and could make it more expensive to plant those crops. That could show up at the impacts in the grocery store. CNN Michael Yoshida explains how.
If we miss that window, we could have catastrophic crop failure.
Alarm bells sounding over disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz and the potential impact to American farmers.
Worst case scenario, a grower may not be able to get a crop in the ground. And of course, that's going to lead to food security conversations.
The waterway is critical for transporting supplies needed to make fertilizers, as well as the finished products, including about half the world's supply of urea, a nitrogen fertilizer for crops like corn. Also, about a third of global exports of ammonia, key for most nitrogen fertilizers, and sulfur, another vital nutrient for crops. Shipments that have essentially stopped since the war.
With the closure of that strait, it's lifted prices here in the United States by several $100s per ton. So that immediately squeezes farmers' bottom line.
I've not seen this level of disruption before. Urea prices are up 50% since that Friday before.
According to the Fertilizer Institute, the U.S. imports about 35% of its fertilizer needs every year, with supplies often arriving just in time for use.
I'm told we still need to import about 25% of our need for March, April, May application.
Now, spiked costs and already low crop prices could lead to tough decisions.
We'll have to adapt either to plant a different crop that uses less fertilizer or potentially reduce the amount of fertilizer that they use, which could have an impact on crop yields and ultimately prices.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
All right, last week, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas was getting us ready for cold weather. And now we're learning all of this is happening on top of that. Jonathan, we were thinking we were just going to be dealing with one thing, and now this severe and sometimes severe weather is happening.
Welcome
That's
to
right.
Florida.
Yeah, the cold front pushing through oftentimes sparks these things, especially when the humidity starts to go up. And we felt that, of course, with the warmth coming through. Now, the good news is we don't have any active warnings. These boxes you see popping up on your screen here, these are special weather statements that are issued by the Weather Service whenever the storm is just below severe criteria. That's going to be winds less than 58 miles an hour. Certainly, some of these downpours and thunderstorms are still putting out some gusty winds in excess of 50 miles an hour. Not damaging, but certainly it looks a little gnarly out there at times. Watching the cell coming out of Davenport and Haines City, that's going to end up sliding back up into Point Siena, into Kissimmee over the next 30 to 45 minutes, and then eventually continuing to lift up to the north and east. So Titusville, a nice little train of downpours and thunderstorms working toward you. Same things for us in Mims and Scottsmore. Downtown Orlando, just a couple of light showers on the south side of town. All this stuff that's now pushing through Lake and Sumter County, it is sub-severe. We are done with that severe weather threat. And mostly everybody along into the north of I-4, we're in the clear in terms of any kind of strong thunderstorms. We're really just watching now in parts of Brevard County back into Osceola County, right in this little corner for the chance for a few storms to get a little rowdy over the next couple of hours. So the good news is we are starting to wind things down, not taking the eye off the ball by any means, but certainly love the way that these storms are looking when compared to how they were earlier into the afternoon. So here 6 to 7 o'clock in the evening, I think Feature Radar doing a nice job on the timeline, pushing these out of here by the time we get towards 8 to 9 o'clock, other than a few lingering light to moderate showers out there. It's behind that when this slides in. Look at this, big time change in your temperature. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will feel the drop in temperature late tonight and through the morning. 49 when you wake up in Orlando, 39 in Denellen, 45 degrees in DeLand, and then even colder when you wake up on Wednesday morning. Now here's a look at the afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Advent Health.
Highs tomorrow, going to struggle to get out of the 50s. I think we'll have some clouds around to start, and then eventually we'll get in some of that drier air to push down the peninsula. We're back to 59 in Orlando, 60 degrees in Titusville. Remember, we just hit 90 a couple of times last week, so big time change. Average this time of the year, that's the orange line here, that's hanging around 80 degrees. Tomorrow we're back to 61, hanging around 70 on Wednesday, and it's not until Saturday that we close back in on where we should be for this time of the year. And then Sunday into Monday, we start that warmth again as we get back into the low to mid 80s. So now as we take a look at your 7-day forecast for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, again, a little chilly out there. That breeze will feel pretty cold. Once we wake up on Wednesday morning, I think that's going to be the colder morning of the bunch. We're back to the low 70s on Thursday. First day of spring is Friday. We're back to the mid 70s.
Jonathan, thank you. An exciting night for UCF yesterday.
All right, they found out they're going dancing. They'll be playing in the NCAA tournament, but we do want to know, how are they going to do? What are their chances to grab a win or two, or maybe the whole thing? So coming up, we're going to bring you a look at what to expect with sports anchor Ryan Welsh.
Coming up on Tuesday, school threats spiking in one county.
What the sheriff is doing and why some are questioning whether it's effective.
And a plan to hire more firefighters in one city is running into issues, what it could cost taxpayers.
All that plus one more cold weather blast in the forecast. We'll time it all out for you.
We'll see you on News 6 mornings starting at 6.
And this is a live look now over downtown Orlando on this weather alert day. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back. All right, great news. We found out last night the UCF men's basketball team is going dancing.
What's next, though, right? That's the next question. How might the tourney go? We're going to send it over to sports anchor Ryan Welsh. Ryan, great season, but of course, eyeballs are now on the tourney.
That's right, ladies. It's been a great season so far for UCF, and the Knights are deserving of an NCAA tournament berth. Head coach Johnny Dawkins and his staff navigated a difficult schedule and compiled an impressive resume. The biggest thing the Knights have going for them, success under the bright lights. This is a team that knocked off some serious powerhouses this year, including Kansas, Texas Tech, and they even went on the road and annihilated BYU. The Knights have won 21 games to this point and finished 9-9 in the Big 12 during the regular season. And they did all that after the Knights were picked to finish 14th out of 16 teams in the conference. Yeah, that is overachieving. The 10th seeded Knights will play 7th seed UCLA in the first round Friday night at 7:25 in Philadelphia. The Bruins are 23-11 on the season. They finished 6th in the Big Ten standings. They have a solid resume as well, which includes 4 wins over ranked foes. And their head coach, Mick Cronin, used to coach Cincinnati, a team the Knights know quite well. So definitely some familiarity there. Here is UCF head coach Johnny Dawkins from last night.
It's a great feeling to know that you've accomplished something that, a goal that you set in the preseason. And you have to wait 5 or 6 months before it's realized. So, I've always told our guys you have to embrace hard. And hard is good. And it's difficult to accomplish this. But you have to embrace that. And I thought our guys did, throughout the entire journey in our conference, through the ups and downs. I mean, it's the best, basketball conference in college basketball. And I think our guys responded very well to that.
All right, you won't find a better guy than Johnny Dawkins, that's for sure. Here is the Knights' corner of the bracket. Again, they get UCLA Friday at 7:25 in Philly. The winner will take on either 2-seed UConn or Furman in round number 2 on Sunday. Now, UCF is a slight underdog heading into the game, but these 7-10 matchups are essentially coin flips. The Knights have shown time and again they can rise to the occasion. And let's hope they can do it again as they make their first trip to the big dance in 7 years. Ladies?
Thank you, Ryan. See, I'm too wimpy to actually do a bracket, but I would trust Ryan to lead me.
He says he's not going to lead you.
No,
I asked him earlier.
I'm in the wrong room. Okay. All right, Ryan. Thank you so much. Hey, News 6 at 6 is next. Of course, we're staying on top of your weather tonight.
Yeah, we'll check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. That is next. Plus, after a chaotic weekend at Daytona Beach, city leaders and law enforcement working to keep people safe during spring break.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at 6.
Severe weather hitting Central Florida for much of your Monday. On the top left corner, you can see how the rain and wind whipping around just a few hours ago. We have Trooper Steve out giving you a first-hand look at what the roads look like and flights grounded at MCO for part of today. And we want to make sure you are always on top of what's happening out there. That's why we have meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. You have been just very active on this weather alert day. But I heard you say things are starting to calm down a little bit.
They are, yeah. We certainly still have some gusty downpours, gusty rumbles of thunder out there, but the widespread severe threat, in my opinion, is starting to wind down.
Right.
So certainly it's much lower than it was a couple of hours ago as this line of thunderstorms continues to sag south and east of I-4, where we do have a marginal severe weather threat continuing for the next couple of hours. It's going to be about from Kissimmee to St. Cloud back toward Holopod, Deer Park, and to Satellite Beach, Rockledge, as this line of thunderstorms continues to slide back off towards the east. You see this little guy here. I'll take you a little bit closer. This is what we call an outflow boundary. See that green and yellow line? That's the rain-cooled air unleashing from the thunderstorms. And then we also have some thunderstorms developing right along the sea breeze. So there's a little more action there. Things get a little crowded, and we get weird things to happen, likely going to bubble up some extra thunderstorms in this area. So I'll be watching this area closely from about Four Corners all the way down toward Mico. It's all because of this cold front. It's slicing through central Florida. You see what it's doing. Check this out. Back towards our north and west. As far south as Atlanta, there are snowflakes flying behind this thing. Pretty dynamic system, and that is why we do have those severe warnings, or at least did earlier today. The good news is that we don't have any warnings out there right now. As you might imagine, with flakes flying as far south as Atlanta, gigantic drop in the temperatures. It's in the 20s in Omaha. Teens back towards International Falls, and look at the divide again. 39 in Birmingham. That's some of the colder air that blasts into central Florida overnight tonight. Wait till you see what the temperatures are when you wake up tomorrow morning. I'm going to have part two, the cold side of this forecast, coming up at about 6:17, Ginger.
Well, that is a tease, Jonathan. Thank you. And you can stay up to date with all of our weather coverage by going to clickorlando.com. You can also download our free News 6 app for alerts on all the weather updates and big stories of the day. Developing tonight, the search is on for a missing teen. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says deputies responding to reports of a capsized canoe this afternoon. It's happening near Lake Jessamine. That's right near South Orange Avenue, near Holden Avenue, not far from 441. So let's get right out to your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell, with the latest update out there for us. Troy.
Ginger, now it's been several hours that we've been out here to Lake Jessamine. We've been watching Orange County Sheriff's Office boats circling the area, searching the water. Investigators confirming they are searching for a teen inside the lake. You can take a look at the lake behind me again. That search is still underway. Orange County Sheriff's Office, they say just after 1 o'clock this afternoon, they were called out here to Lake Jessamine. Investigators say there was a group of 4 teens on a canoe in the lake when it capsized. Investigators say 3 of the teens were safely rescued out of the water, but a 4th teen went under the water and was unaccounted for. Both the Orange County Sheriff's Office and Orange County Fire Rescue, again, saying that search is underway for that teen. We've seen several boats continuing to circle the area. And just to give you kind of an idea of the scene and emotional, there does appear to be family members out here. I walked up to somebody, asked to speak with them. They identified themselves as a family member of the teen. Understandably, they asked for their space. So we do know that there is a family out here watching these intense moments as the search continues. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Live in Orange County, Troy Campbell, News 6. Back to you.
Troy, thank you. Well, the first weekend of spring break in Daytona Beach was met by chaos. That's according to local officials there. Daytona Beach police say that they are investigating 4 separate shootings they say happened Saturday. Officials say a pop-up event on the beach brought unruly crowds to the area. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed is looking into how the city handled this and if more could have been done.
The Volusia County Sheriff tells us that just on the sand on the beach alone this weekend, they arrested 133 people. He says this unpermitted, unsanctioned event that popped up and brought thousands started on the beach and then spilled into the city.
An unsanctioned event run by social media. My estimate is probably somewhere close to 9,000 people, maybe even 10,000 people.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says it was a rowdy crowd on the beach. They arrested several with guns, but he says there were no shootings on the sand.
Our job is law enforcement on the beach. So that is county jurisdiction. That is my jurisdiction. Once they leave and go up on the blacktop, they're in the city limits.
But when the crowds got to land, it was more chaotic. This video shows one of 4 shootings Daytona Beach police are investigating from Saturday night. This one on Main Street. There was also a shooting on Seabreeze Boulevard beachside and 2 shootings mainland in the city. The sheriff says law enforcement was aware this pop-up event was likely coming, and the city could have asked them for a special event zone.
The reason it wasn't declared is they didn't want it last weekend. Because I can declare a special event zone, but if they're not going to enforce it, you're sending a message, hey, they're not enforcing it.
A county sheriff can declare a zone for unsanctioned events. It brings in more law enforcement resources and increases penalties against those who break the law in them. City Commissioner Stacy Cantu wonders why the city manager did not ask commissioners for this.
Usually if something is going on, we get an email blast letting us know that this event's going on, this is happening. We received no communication whatsoever.
The sheriff hopes that the city will put in a special event zone for this upcoming weekend. We reached out to the Daytona Beach Police Department to see if the chief would talk to us today. They said he is not doing interviews. We also reached out to the city manager to see if he had a comment, but did not get a response. I'm your Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
A sad and strange case out of Brevard County tonight. A couple is facing child abuse charges for hitting their child and making the girl drink hot sauce. Cocoa police say the girl told her school resource officer, Ashley and Robert Eldridge, hit her and forced her to drink hot sauce. She says she was hit at least 15 times in the back of the legs with a belt after getting ink on their cat. Now, police say that's when she was forced to drink hot sauce, even though she's allergic to it. The victim telling police this has happened about 10 times before. Ashley is being held on $5,000 bond and Robert is being held on $50,000 bond. They have to stay away from the girl and minors. Cutting back and closing doors, it is the end of an era for Bahama Breeze. Earlier this year, we learned that Darden would be shutting down most its locations and converting the rest into other Darden brands.
The sign has already come down and changes are being made at this Bahama Breeze on Reinhardt Road. Monday morning, employees gathered in the parking lot after meeting for the last time.
Oh yeah, everybody's in there crying. Because a lot of people have been here for years. It's like their second home.
We met Teresa as she was walking out.
Did you know that they were closing this weekend? No. No, we were told April 5th.
Earlier this year, Darden announced they would be closing locations, including this one here in Sanford, because they were no longer a strategic priority. This location in Altamont is one of the restaurants that the company says will be converted into other Darden brands, along with 4 other Bahama Breeze restaurants in Orlando.
We have options to go to other Darden concepts, and that will be okay.
Is that something you'll consider?
Oh yeah, Darden's a great company to work for.
It's not the only company navigating a changing landscape. Here at the Seminole Town Center, restaurants like this Red Lobster remain closed. Rising costs and constricting budgets have created challenges for consumers and companies.
The reality is it's very difficult to be a restaurant owner right now. We certainly have seen wage and food inflation of at least 35% since the pandemic. Taxes, insurance, et cetera. Everything is really hitting their overall bottom line.
The National Restaurant Association says 42% of restaurants were not profitable last year.
The math is very difficult, and as a result, even though you might have restaurants that have a lot of traffic, those costs might be eating them up in terms of their overall profit margins.
The Bahama Breeze and Hunters Creek closed on Sunday, along with this one here in Sanford. We reached out to Darden to ask about the impact to local staff in Central Florida. They tell me both management teams, 11 people total, have been placed at other restaurants, and 66% of the hourly staff here in Sanford have been given other opportunities as well. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
We are staying on top of your forecast tonight as we have seen some rain and wind hit parts of Central Florida hard tonight. Coming up, we're taking a look at how the weather we saw today impacted travelers at Orlando International Airport.
These 5G towers are popping up everywhere, and people who live here in Winter Springs are not happy about it.
Because it's just an eyesore.
Would you buy a house with this in the background? I'm News 6 investigator Erica Bergoglio, and your neighborhood could be next. Coming up, why you and the city can't do much to stop it.
Good evening ahead on the CBS Evening News, an Oscar night victory for one of our own, Steve Hartman. That's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We've been keeping a close eye on the forecast because it has been a weather alert day, and you can see by all those cams we have out there to give you a bird's eye view of what's actually happening, that it is still pretty active out there. But thank goodness, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. He says things are starting to calm down in some parts. Jonathan?
Yeah, especially northwest of I-4. Still some rain coming down northwest of the interstate tonight, but the strongest stuff is south and east of I-4. And even then, the action is waning tonight, so we're getting weaker. Certainly the opportunity for a low-end severe threat, I'll draw it out for a pause south to Telestrator, is going to be from about Rockledge down to Kenansville, Yeehaw Junction, and then into southern Brevard County. That's where we haven't had many thunderstorms yet this afternoon. We still have what we call outflow boundaries. That's a little green line that's hanging through there. The radar picking up on some of the rain-cooled air. And then we have the sea breeze that's hanging out right there. So that intersection can get things to get a little weird and get a little wild. So we're going to watch that closely over the next couple of hours in there. But by and large, most of this action is starting to wind down tonight with the strongest stuff back towards the Gulf Coast of Florida. Again, in the next couple of hours, we will watch everybody quiet down. I think after about 9 o'clock tonight, we'll start to really dry things out. You can stay up to date with the forecast and track these downpours and thunderstorms into your neighborhood by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You can submit your pictures there as well to pin it. 7, 8 o'clock tonight, still dealing with a couple of downpours and a few rumbles of thunder. That's 8 to 9. Hanging on a little bit. Again, you see a few showers still even back up in Orange County, right around Kissimmee to St. Cloud as well. A couple of downpours then exiting around Micco by 9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, most of these things are completely out of here. Then it's the cold's turn to arrive. Look at the drop in temperature here. We're at 67 degrees in Orlando, mid-60s in Jacksonville. Take a drive to Atlanta, it's 40, 35 in Nashville. This big cold front means business. And again, tomorrow morning when you wake up, we're going to be in the 40s for most of us. A few will flirt with the 30s. Ocala, we're going to wake up to 40, 39 in Denellen, 49 in Orlando. Holapa, we are back to around 50 degrees. Now here's a look at your afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
High temperatures tomorrow hanging around 60 degrees in DeLand, 59 in Ocala, Palm Coast. Good evening. We are back to the upper 50s. Rain chances hanging around 0% with a few extra clouds to start, and I think we'll start to see some of that drier air start to spill back down. Certainly was not dry for most yesterday as expected. We were talking about those very high rain chances. I wanted to show you this now that it's a little quieter outside, but the drought update, the day-by-day one that we get, it's the little number here. So yesterday's number in Lake County as a whole shaved off 71 points. Remember, 500 on the Keach-Byram Drought Index is kind of that benchmark where counties will issue burn bans. And so we see we've fallen back below that in Lake County. We shaved off 88 points from our number. In Seminole County, back into the 300. So certainly just what the doctor ordered. I'll be anxious to show you what the update is tomorrow evening at about this time to see what today's rain did. If we can get by some of the severe weather, certainly another very good afternoon. I know there's some power outages around with the stronger winds and stuff, but certainly the rain part of it is still welcome. 61 tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day, back to the upper 60s on Wednesday. You'll notice Wednesday morning, it's going to be even a little bit colder than what you wake up to tomorrow. And then we will gradually start to climb out of the chill a little bit. 72 degrees on Thursday. We're back to the mid-70s on Friday for the first day of spring. This weekend, back to closer to where we should be. Sunshine dominant, gorgeous weekend if you have plans to be outside. Looking fantastic. And then the blowtorch starts to come back as we head towards the mid to upper 80s as we get towards the middle part of next week. Certainly winding things down, still have an eye on the radar for the next couple of hours, but certainly caused some issues at the airport earlier today. For more on that, we'll send things out to Jana Manahalal with more on the report at OIA.
Yeah, Jonathan, you are 100% right. But realistically, if you were to look at the main terminal right now, it looks like an average Monday evening here. But if you look all the way over there to what we call in the news industry, the big board, it is covered in red flight delays and cancellations. We've talked to multiple families who have been here, and they're left with, in simple terms, no answers.
First Southwest, then JetBlue, and now back to Southwest.
What did Southwest tell you when they first canceled it?
They just said best of luck. So, but they gave us credit, which we didn't really want. But
red flight statuses are covering the flight tracker board here at the Orlando International Airport.
You have a third flight, a third attempt at 8 p.m. tonight.
Yep. Hoping for the best. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Meaning delays are quickly turning into cancellations.
We were scheduled on Frontier this morning to fly out today at 2. We went through 3 delays and then it was finally canceled. And so I was able to book a flight with United, They delayed us once and then canceled. I was able to book on Southwest through Birmingham. We're trying to get to Denver.
Okay.
So far, it's still showing on time. That goes out 10 tonight with a 7-hour layover in Birmingham. We're supposed to get in tomorrow in Denver at like 7:30.
A viewer shared with us this email they received from Delta for their flight tomorrow on Tuesday with suggestions about next steps. Many were left waiting with no backup plan and are now stuck waiting at least a day for a new flight.
They can't get us on anything today, tomorrow. And it's the best they could do is Wednesday night.
Oh my God.
So we don't really have
a plan, a backup anything.
No.
And with the skies shut down, some are taking to the road.
Now the plan is to take a charter bus all the way back to
Pennsylvania. Yes.
How long is that bus ride?
I think they said it's going to be around like 20 hours.
We returned our car yesterday, and now I tried to get another one through Avis. They had no cars left. So now we got one through Hertz, I think.
Despite the MCO ground stop that happened last night due to thunderstorms and the countless delays and cancellations people are experiencing today, people seem to be in a relatively good mood.
We decided before we even got here today that we're just going to totally be chill. That no matter what we thought, no matter how we behaved, it wasn't going to change the situation.
I think truly I'm going to start to adapt that very chill and relaxed behavior at the airport moving forward because it seems to do him well. But look at this TSA line. We're back down to standard wait times, 4 to 8 minutes. Earlier, we were looking at some crazy wait times, 20 to 25 minutes. They were pushing, honestly, like Disney and Universal ride wait times, if I cannot lie. But right now, according to that FlightAware.com, that live up-to-date cancellation and delay tracker, we are at 406 cancellations here at the Orlando International Airport and 482 delays here. Now, that's a big step in that direction. Again, those keep climbing since we've been out here this morning, and we're going to keep an eye on this as it continues. For now, live at MCO, I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
Those numbers are going in the wrong direction, Jana. Thank you. All right, speaking of numbers, 5G towers are becoming Central Florida's latest growing pain. They bring high-speed internet, but people who live in Winter Springs say that the towers are too close to homes. News 6 investigator Erica Bergoglio found out a state law limits what cities can do, and your neighborhood could be next.
Would you want this near your yard? Well, people who live here in Winter Springs say no, they don't. But it turns out the city can't do much to stop the installation of these 5G towers.
Because it's just an eyesore.
Driving up to Frankie Perez's home, you see something looming overhead.
I'd say about 30, 40 feet tall.
This new 5G tower, designed to speed up internet on your phone, sits just feet from his backyard.
Not quite the view. Not quite the view I was thinking about when we bought this house.
Down the road on Winter Springs Boulevard,
That's the smokestack tower.
another new tower stands directly behind even more homes.
Would you buy a house with this in the background? I'm not sure. I would.
Hallie Johnson reached out to News 6 after seeing the towers pop up near her Tuscaloosa neighborhood.
Why not put it somewhere where it's not going to affect the homeowner's property values? Good evening. My name is Hallie Johnson.
Johnson asked the city that same question during a commission meeting, discovering, along with commissioners, there's not much that can be done.
First of all, the towers look, in my opinion, look horrible. And second, what about near homes? What are the restrictions, any restrictions near homes, private homes? No, sir. Nope. Jeez.
That's because of a Florida law called the Advanced Wireless Infrastructure Deployment Act. It limits local government control on where 5G towers are placed.
As a local government official, you can't control what is being placed in your backyard.
It's called home rule, and the state has taken it away for this reason, and I'm assuming it's because everyone and their mother would be saying no to these.
In Winter Springs, more than a dozen permits for these cell towers have been filed. The city says it will review each permit, including the proposed sites, on a case-by-case basis.
We need the technology in our community, right? We don't want to fall behind. I think that growth is good, but I think growth is good if it's managed correctly.
The city of Winter Springs says it met with Verizon last week to talk about relocating any proposed towers. Those discussions are ongoing. Now, as for moving towers that already have been installed, I'm told we will see. Erica Bergoglio, News 6.
News 6 asked Verizon several questions, including why it chooses certain locations for its towers and if it will consider moving them. A spokesperson says these sites are, quote, essential for supporting the high-speed data needs of our mobile subscribers and the growing number of 5G internet customers in the area. We've posted the full statement at clickorlando.com. News 666 will be right back. Here's a look at some of the top stories we're following for you tonight. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says it is searching for a missing teen at Lake Jessamine. Deputies say they responded to reports of an overturned canoe this afternoon. 3 of the 4 teens were rescued, and the search for the 4th teen is underway. After a chaotic weekend at Daytona Beach, police are searching for suspects after 4 different shootings Saturday. Daytona Beach police say that officers don't believe the community is under threat, but they are looking for help with investigations. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at the number you see right there at the bottom of your screen. And the celebration is on at UCF. The Knights are 10th seed in the East region. They will now head to Philadelphia for a first-round matchup with UCLA Friday night. It's the program's first appearance in the tournament since 2019. We're so proud of them. Charge on, guys. All right, time for a look at the forecast. A very busy night.
It is, yeah. The good news is we are watching things wind down a little bit. Just a very isolated severe weather threat south and east of I-4 where you see some of the reds there. These are just gusty downpours or gusty thunderstorms. I think the severe threat for the most part is basically over. Just watching for that little corner in parts of eastern Brevard County and southern Osceola County for the next couple of hours. We'll be here, we're watching it, and we'll let you know if we need to know anything. We'll be streaming and breaking it if we need to.
Of course you will. And then we'll get ready for the cold.
That's
All
right.
That's going to do it. We'll see you back here with more news at 9 o'clock. Bye, everybody.